Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to VCT China's, brought to you by Project Horizon. My name is Colden, and joined me for the broadcast here today, none other than Mad Dante Killer himself. Dante, how's it going, my friend?
It's going very, very well, other than the fact that the hay fever season is hitting us and I am losing. Other than that, everything has been going very solid. We've seen a phenomenal showing of VCT China so far. The series have been a little bit different than maybe some people were expecting, and we got a special one coming up today, though. FPX, DRG.
Yeah, it's two really interesting teams, not exactly confirmed to qualify to the playoffs just yet, but I think a win here would do heavens, for the record. Both of them 2-0 in the group, and yeah, this win right here might actually solidify their chances to actually qualify the playoffs. And with a couple of wins under the belt already, this one has a lot of stakes to it.
It's pretty massive, and honestly, it's wild to kind of see this come down to it being as important, particularly for both these teams as it is. For FPX and DRG, as you said, they not guaranteed just in the positions just yet, and I believe both teams have been going around 2 and 3. I believe they're 6th and 7th respectively, maybe 5th and 6th. So just their performance is not exactly enough to be desired. So this is the swing. This is absolutely possibly do or die for both of these teams.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see what we have in store, because especially with Korot now coming back coming into the map pool, I think it really shakes things up, right? You have that option to really throw in a wrench into the worlds of the map pool. We've seen it a couple of times. I mean, I think the Chinese teams really absolutely love, new metas, new, very confident choices in terms of the maps and the ages being played. So I wouldn't count out seeing Korot here in this map pool, but we'll have to wait and see for that one. But I can safely say, right, that this game is going to be a banger.
Oh, all of them are going to be bangers. I'm kind of confident we get into the third map. The reason being, so the last time the FPX and DRG have went against each other, actually the last 2 times, DRG have taken it. They took it with a 2-0 and then a 2-1. Most recent to less recent. So DRG have been very much performing against FPX, and it's not too difficult to see why. And it really has to be said that just every time someone from DRG steps up, I mean, Vukashu, who you will probably hear a lot about getting into this a bit later, but for the meantime, Vukashu has just always shown up, and DRG, or FPX, sorry, very reliant on that kind of superstar player.
All right, yeah, and as you just mentioned, right, the key player, we've got Vukashu here. I mean, he's playing that sentinel role, but he always finds himself in these crazy situations where he's able to make the most out of it. Another really key player to watch out for is Life. I mean, he's the main duelist for FPX, and well, safe to say, he's been a household name in the VCT China for such a long time already. So it's lovely to see that he's still kicking about and really still maintaining that kind of top performance that we know he can produce.
Having a top performance on Waylay when it's like you're the only person running Waylay is pretty impressive in and of itself. Just because getting her slotted into all these compositions and such. Of course, Teho and Breach and everything has been a little while now, but you were kind of mentioned earlier, Coldan, that VALORANT China specifically seems to love whenever there's newer maps and newer metas, because they're never really been completely respectful towards metas, even when they have been firmly established, is the most polite way I can put it.
No, I think you've nailed it on the head, right? That little bit of disrespect I actually kind of noticed it, especially in the international games. When you see Chinese teams face up against, the Europeans, the Americans, even Pacific. Like, you put a smoke in front of them, and it seems like they're moths drawn to a flame. You're like, all right, I see a smoke, I have to push it, I have to go through. It's like a law that's being set inside their heads or something. So yeah, they're kind of a little bit of disrespect, a bit of confidence, that cockiness, I guess you could say. I think it really lives and breathes in their playstyle. So I'm really excited to see if we have more of that here today.
I'm sure we will, and of course it is now the best time to pull out the caster predictions themselves. So from Project Horizon, everyone's here. I'm not currently up here. I am on the side. It's difficult because I love Yeah, I'm outside of the picture because I accidentally forgot that I adore DRG because of Vikashu, but I adore FPX, just probably a team that I prefer to watch. So I'm putting myself on there with DRG, even though the square's not up there. That's 100% on me.
All right. So you're joining the train. I appreciate it. It's train's not full yet. There's a lot of people down there. I guess there's no space. You gotta join us up at the top, and we are gonna be on top because DRG. I have faith in my boy Vukashu. He is such a cerebral player. Playing in a different region as your own, playing with players that don't speak your native language. It's such a tall task, and yet he's still able to stay at the top of his game for 1 or 2 years consistently already. I really love that. He's brought in that style from the Ascension team. So I'm really rooting for DRG. I do think that they have a chance. And the track record against FPX as well, the last 2 times these 2 teams faced, DRG came out on top. 3rd time, not a charm. I don't think FPX has got it. I have my faith in DRG.
Well, we can place our faith wherever, but right now we're about to see that faith get rewarded as the players and such all come out. We've been talking about the personalities we've been seeing. We've been talking about all the love that both... I'd say, actually, I was going to say both these teams, but all of these teams, ever since now, Wolves may or may not have disappeared slightly off the face of the earth, and maybe there's another time to chat about that. But what Wolves has done, and no one can deny, similar to what EDG and such had done, where it put VCT China on the map, and it put a lot of these players on the map. Vukashu is a great example of someone that was kind of unknown outside like VCT China and then would just appear essentially overnight. And as you mentioned, being that pretty close to the IGL, always opting for kind of the sentinel roles and being pretty close to the team, it's nice to see that personality shine through even with the language barrier.
Yeah, and Ackerman, I think he's also one of the newest faces on DRG, so I'm really looking forward to see what he has in store in terms of that duelist role. So I think this DRG roster, I mean, it's always crazy, right? All of these Chinese teams always have 1 or 2 special editions, I like to call them, coming from different regions. You've got Vukashu on the DRX side, and of course Autumn, right? Another really, I guess at this point, household name for China's, even though he's all the way from down under.
Yeah, everyone has really gotten a lot more staying power since it. Spirit is another one as well. Like, it seems so fitting to see it because DRG, even with some people have been talking about the performances actually, and I think a lot of it is just due to not necessarily the fall off, but just the way Wolves have been playing post Masters. I think a lot of people have realized that it's a lot closer than it may have looked. Wolves got very much the possibility. They were the ones that made it happen, but any of these teams, DRG, FPX, even AG, have started very much showing their claws and kind of brashing their talents. So anyone can really show up, and it's nice to see that all these personalities and such, even from players that are just more consistent, they don't really do any sort of star play, you're even starting to hear a lot more about them, which is just fantastic to see.
Yeah, and I think it's similar to what the Zeta run did for Japan. I think what Wolves has done for China's is essentially being that kind of Superman aspect, I like to call it. So it's like that beacon of hope, right? Seeing this team that wasn't supposed to be here, this team that was so underrated, going on a crazy run, and then coming back to China's, getting a slap in the face, a reality check, and then everyone essentially being, put on task, being like, hey guys, we all can do this. It's so real, it's so viable. At this stage here, I think this group stage is when these teams will show up, when these teams push it to the max and have a chance at a shot to even qualify for champions.
Honestly, as you said, I couldn't have put it better myself. Wolves have very much shown that it's possible, and a lot of members have been the ones trying to push for it. The man himself, the one we were mentioning, the player to look out for, it is Life. It is the man who has always been... When FPX are struggling, you need to look at where Life is doing. If Life is even kind of doing middling, I love Life to pieces, don't get me wrong, but it usually means that if Life is middling, you have to either rely on this man to be top of that scoreboard, and pretty comfortably so, or we have seen FPX, that's where they start to struggle.
Yeah, I like how you put it as well. I mean, Life is, that kind of cornerstone, that key piece of the puzzle for FPX. Autumn coming in, Yosemite, another really a household name for FPX. Has been in the roster for such a long time. And yeah, I know there's so much we could talk about, I think, in terms of the lore that goes deep within these two teams. You know, the players. Speaking of the players, you got the coach, Legia. You know, as a Singaporean, you know, he's kind of represented us to a different organization, Bleed. So it's interesting to see him, you know, back on the stage. You know, it's been a while since he's been there, but well, evidently it's gotten his team a couple of solid wins already. So excited to see how his coaching style actually affects this FPX team as well.
Legia has very much been popping up over, like, no, I don't want to say shadow because it sounds like he's kind of overcasting, and that's not the case at all. But very much anything happens that anyone from FPX does, and you always hear at least one person go, "Oh, did Legia mention that? Legia, you know, brought it to their attention. Legia had the idea," and it's a fantastic thing. It goes to show you how amazing a coach Legia has been, but basically everything FPX have done, very much someone's over the shoulder going, Legia did it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, his aura is just, you know, pulsing through the veins.
Unmatched.
Yeah. And well, we don't exactly get Corrode, Dante.
Okay.
Any surprise in terms of the map view for you?
Seeing Sunset at the end is something that surprises me. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but we'll talk about the Lotus actually getting banned instead of Haven. For anyone that has been keeping up with the series and like the circuit as a whole, Lotus has started to become the pretty confident, the pretty comfortable three-site map. While the Breach stuns and the Teho stuns have came through, of course, and it makes Lotus a bit more playable. It has meant that teams are much more comfortable to go back onto Lotus without relying on that utility. Seeing it banned is kind of making me believe that FPX would rather just take this to Haven and speedrun through it.
Oh yeah, it's a different three-sided map, but again, it comes down to the fundamentals, right? When you have those three sites, you really need to be pronto on your defensive side. You need to understand that you need to be aggressive at some points, and I think that kind of aggression really leans into a lot of these Chinese teams' playstyle. So I'm curious to see how that, you know, happens here on Haven. Agent picks also, I think, another interesting topic. Maybe we get something interesting here between these two teams.
Yeah, so the last time they did actually run Haven, the last time these two went against each other, and it went very, very favorably. I said FPX, I did actually mean to say DRG. 13-5 for DRG. That was actually not even relying on the Teho utility. That was actually purely relying off of the ISO Yoru composition and the kind of standard Sova Omen you would see. So even post Teho nerf, DRG don't really mind.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see the same thing from DRG. That's my expectations. I think they have run it twice in a row already. So, I mean, that was kind of a while ago, but it has worked well for them. And is it exactly? No, it's not the same. Yeah, never mind.
Okay.
The Chinese love to mix things up.
I love to see it. I like to see it. Life has been very much kind of repping the Neon. No surprises there. Akuman and Spirit, no surprises there. Nick actually opting for the Breach, something that has less surprised me, but the fact that we're essentially seeing the split between is double controller king or is it a thing of the past on Haven?
Yeah, I love that Viper pick actually. Not a lot of teams actually use that Viper to its greatest potential. Autumn picking that up, I think it makes this entire matchup a lot more interesting. You know, it slows down the pace of the game. You've got the Neons on both sides, Life and Akuman both picking that up, and of course you got the Yoru. I think, you know, coming into this the past couple of months, you know, Yoru has been so pivotal on a lot of these team compositions, allows for very fast rotates, you know, and is a very dynamic agent, to say the very least. But yeah, we're gonna be jumping into Haven right now between these two teams, Titans at the top of their league, trying to prove the best here on a map that might not be played as much.
It's very much down to who can run this. You mentioned the Yoru, the gate crash, one of the strongest pieces of utility in the entire game. Essentially forces maps like Haven. If you are playing the attacker side, you want to play it patiently just to let the gate crash run out. Of course, FPX don't have the Yoru on their side, so there isn't that overly fast rotate. You've still got life on that Neon, and we have started with a very patient, a very cagey, tentative step towards this A site.
Just the Viper and the Vice, but it's the two best agents you'd want here to defend. It's a full contact play up towards Long, and into the side they go. The stun comes in. Arm gets blindsided, doesn't even get a chance to shoot back. But Yosemite is chopped down. Managed to find one, but that's all they're gonna get. It's a 2-to-1 trade here on towards this A side as DRG get the spike down and find themselves with a man advantage in the post plan.
Everyone now is setting up from DRG. The paranoia through graffiti, it does find its target, but the swing can't really come through. DRG have this lockdown towards the link from the defender side spawn. Berlin's gonna swing, he finds one flex, and the repeat is excellent, and Life diving into his death. It's just a 1 versus 2. Ayang has to drop into the positions and will get taken down by Nick. A phenomenally played first post-plant scenario.
That was lovely stuff coming in. There's just a full contact play. They had no information. The two ideal agents, I would say, up against a full-on execute. You got the Viper as well as the Vice, but, you know, I don't think Autumn even had a chance to answer back in that one. He was just immediately overwhelmed. Yeah, right here, despite the vines being activated, I think it's just too little too late. And from then on out, the trades were just so efficient for DRG. Ended up in a 1 versus 2, and yeah, dropping down from the heavens. Ayang will give it his best, but solid one from DRG this time around. All 4 players here towards this C side. It's just the Omen. Quick onto the orb.
Oh, the patience. The smoke has started, and you have already brought up Coldan. We will see ruthless efficiency in the trading from DRG as we go through. Berlin is likely only going to be able to walk away with 1 as the smoke dissipates. The setup towards this C site push. It's very, very tentative. They do not want to overcommit. They want to see if Berlin will swing, if anyone will swing.
Oh,
Berlin and
perfect.
Yosemite both do phenomenally play from DRG as the spike goes down. 3 versus 5. There's no real economy or utility to speak of here. An exit is all FPX are praying for.
This slow contact playstyle has already netted them 2 brilliant rounds from DRG. And FPX not expecting that kind of a walk-up play. You got so many people from the attacking side marking these angles, and they're not even going to let them, at least they're going to try to get them out of this round without losing weapons. All 3 in towards garage. FPX would love to just die to the spike. And DRG gonna drop any weapons as well. So lovely round coming in from them. Nick, he's got a ghost. Might as well go for it. Backs onto a double kill. I would take those. Onto the breach. 2 ultimate orbs. That's lovely stuff.
That's absolutely massive as well, and the 600 credits that come through instead of just dying to the spike. There's a lot of things that you can very much credit Nick for doing there. A phenomenally aggressive, but because it works, you can't say greedy, and that is the rule. It's aggressive if it works, it's greedy, or it's an overcommit if you don't get any value. That is the rule. So very, very solid stuff done, as you'd mentioned. 2 additional orbs, a lot more confidence and control, and actually allows the buy up for DRG to still be pretty solid.
Yeah, and this bonus round has got a lot of legs to it, right? They still have a lot of weapons that they brought in. Basically all the weapons they brought in from the previous goes up. But again, lack of information. It's gonna keep 2 of the players on towards this A side. You've got a nice Vice down towards the C cubby. It's going to provide a little bit of advanced information, but that leaves the middle part of the map so exposed and vulnerable. It's just this Vice wall that's in between them and 3B side.
Might be enough. The shear pops up. The Yoru clone actually may have saved all members of DRG. There has been a teleport in, so you can see the control at least somewhat gained by Flex, and the rest of DRG now walk on. Nick gets the plan. Guns back out. That's all members alive. A 5 versus 5 Ayang to start it off with a beautiful first swing. The positioning very much working out for FPX. The upper position having to be dropped. Flex not able to keep that control. The Stinger's good enough. The trades, though, are all coming the way of FPX. It is all green as the defuse comes through.
Beautiful retake coming in from FPX. And that Vice utility, right, as you mentioned, the clone actually preventing them from getting into the site. Like, none of the duelists, usually, you know, if the duelist entries first, at least one of them gets that real estate. But because the clone tripped the wall so early, none of the duelists were able to get in. And, you know, they were all stuck in towards the side. No access given towards either C or A link. Just meant that they were in an absolute blender. They were just pincered in from both sides. Nowhere to play the post plants. And they just get mopped up. So, lovely round for FPX to get on the board. But it's still that anti-bonus of theirs. Looking to string 2 in a row now.
If they can, they are going to be doing phenomenal work at keeping DRG from their momentum that they so want to gain. They're a team that work off of momentum normally, but especially keeping that track record against FPX looking so squeaky clean. The setups are pretty similar in terms of the attacking side, but this 2-man commit towards short, very much to back off, very much to keep that control. They've accepted playing backside as a mistake, and the stuns, the utility shuts down Ayang. Life is able to find something back of and swing. That is a beautiful flick, and it grants the A site without too much incident.
Oh. This is the time for the retake to happen. Something miraculous from FPX needs to come in towards their favor because their man down. Berlin doesn't have the best weaponry, but Yosemite, first one to find a kill onto Flexin that evens up the numbers. Paranoia goes in, but Yosemite's still able to pull one more back. They're somehow gonna make it work. Autumn now from the heavens. He's making a 1 versus 3. Yosemite with a triple kill. They make the impossible retake happen. FPX defying the odds.
That's what happens when you let the retake go through. Yosemite being granted at least 2 very, very clean 1v1s for themselves to take. No concerns, no hesitation at all. And that is how easily you go from complete site control, you go from a guaranteed round into something like this. That is one. No reswing, no trade. The overpush there, no reswing and no trade. That is 2 massive frags given to Yosemite on that silver platter.
Yeah, a little bit of a misplay in terms of the fundamentals there from DRG in the post plant. You had the advantage, you had the positioning. It was just dry swings coming in from Yosemite. Still able to pull it apart. This time it's a dry walk down towards mid. Yosemite swings out towards garage. A double from him. Berlin with a double of his own. And they drop the spike in the mix. It's just Flexin alone, but he's all the way on towards the seaside, disjoined from all the action. His teammates have evaporated from the server. He's coming in towards garage now. Might be a position they might not expect, but Autumn seems like he has that 6th sense, and he will mark it down like a hawk. Lovely round from FPX. They prevent DRG from even getting themselves started.
Yeah, and that's very much something, if you are looking at Autumn there, a little bit of a discussion on game sense. You've cleared out the defensive side spawn. You've gotten Yosemite pushed up quite deep in towards garden there. That gives you all the space, all of the control, and you know you haven't seen the last remaining player. Getting that shot through the flashbang is absolutely insane, but the violence on mid, you haven't seen Flexin in a while. You know as Yosemite, or you get the feeling if you're FPX, okay, there's been a lurk around, there's been a wrap around, and that's where that read comes from. So now DRG being forced on this first timeout.
Yeah, I think it's a very much needed timeout right here. I mean, DRG, they've found themselves in a couple of great situations, but you know, these last 2 rounds have been a little bit, you know, a bit of a cause for concern. I mean, they've been read like a book in that last round, right? The contact play down towards mid from the defensive side catches them, you know, with their pants down essentially. So important timeout here to discuss the options, you know, whether they want to change up the pace a little bit because their slow contact plays have, you know, I guess kind of been sussed out at the very minimum.
I would say that's fair. I think at the moment what DRG are really wanting is the ability to, I think, just explode onto a site. They've done that kind of slower contact. They've tried to get the executes down a little bit slower. I would like to see, especially because you're not against a Yoru, you're not against someone that can teleport immediately to an A site. Statistically speaking, you should only be going against 2 people per site. If you just play it fast enough, aggressive enough with utility, which we are seeing at the very least to get onto A long, but this is the part where I would love to see that aggressive utility.
Might be a little bit of a changer for FPX because they've got the open hands of life, but the problem is he's on the wrong side of the map, Dante. And again, they're gonna have this slow little creep up contact play from DRG. Yosemite's got his razor vines littered across the site and the steel garden to boot. But DRG just walking up close might be able to evade most of the utility here. No activation of the spike just yet. The wall comes up. But Spirit is actually in towards the side, now calling for the rest of the team to come in. They break the spikes, no activation just yet. Here comes the Steel Garden. Might want to go in for a fast play. Down towards Heaven, jump down. But the Aftershock catches one more. Yosemite, the raid boss, in towards the side. But Spirit picks up a double kill as the smokes drop down. It's still Air Yang left in a 1 versus 2. Cypher cages. Guys, the positions of where these players coming from. Shock dart in, but damage done. Down to a 30 HP point, and now he's just trying to isolate these angles. Vukashu thought out, but Ackerman brings in the shorty for the close. It denies him the clutch. It gets him a round win.
No concerns there at all. Very, very clean. That is the positioning you want to see. That is the patience you want to see. Vukashu understanding there about 30 seconds in that he's not going to get out of this. The super aggressive play off of the Steel Garden is absolutely beautiful, but when you've got the positioning, when you've got the post plant set up like that, played to that level of professionalism, it's going to be tough for even a team like FPX to crack it down as DRG even up the scoreline.
These rounds have gone down to the wire, Dante, but this one's interesting. The smoke down towards CT, the Paranoid comes in. Lovely isolation on the floor, but of course it's Yosemite to pull things back. The stun up, but the kill still found before the stun hits. Yosemite has been an absolute nuisance so far. Spike yet to get planted. Life now brings in the AWP into the equation. And Destroy both send across the server, but Life will hold his ground. A double kill found as they try to take him down. But now Nick spotted out the back of the side, and surely he doesn't have anything to say here. Isolated, but still good for the shots. Life picks up a triple. As they all try to push his position, he will not give away that advantage.
Not on anyone's ticket is that the case. You may have snuck away a round win last time for DRG, but this time it will not be the case. Life is absolutely shutting that down, showing that when he's getting a position on the operator, when he's getting a chance, he can do work. Picks up Vukashu, and the Hunter's Fury play here to force Spirit into that swing and the awareness to get it, followed up by that ever clean third. A phenomenal situation to be in. No timeout forced, but Life already forcing Ackerman out of the start as the round begins before I can even stop.
At this point, you can see that these Chinese teams are having fun in the server. They're just duking it out. Life wants more. And he's just gonna eliminate them one by one. Creep into his crosshairs, and he will connect. Triple kill found already, looking to make it one more better than the previous round. Never mind, as Yosemite is that insurance policy coming in from the flank to close out another successful round.
Super quick, super pivotal, super contained from FPX. It was DRG's low buy. They understood they had the economical advantage, which is why we've seen the flank from Yosemite come through. We haven't seen Yosemite be willing to give up a gun on a fair fight, but when he knows he can land the shot, when he knows he's at that advantage, he will take the fight. But that Stinger shooting nearly is enough to take down Ayang, and there is the positioning from Yosemite there. Phenomenal setup from FPX thus far, and you can see how hyped the coaches are.
Yeah, the gear, you know, lobbing a couple words across the stage. I love to see that from a coach. But again, Life is back on this AWP, and he's rotated towards the side that has the most action. Might be a little bit aggressive down here towards A long, but DRG, they've all evacuated. They want to explore other portions of this map.
This B mid, something that we've only seen once, and Yosemite's position here is absolutely perfect. The Arc Rose position, the flash is solid, the play of the spray finds 3! It cannot find a 4th, surely it will not, at least it's Autumn to fire back, but Nick, only 2 Cs, but 3k, and the remaining 2 members stuck towards the attacker side spawn. He's got this position to himself, he's got the Rolling Thunder and the flashes, he doesn't know he has the positioning though, and every second lost is a moment that FPX can fight this back.
FPX are not going to give him an isolated 1v1. You can see Ayang is waiting for life to come in together. A boatload of utility available for Nick. Rolling Thunder as well as double flashes. Here's the runner from Garage. Isolates the first one. Looking for one more, but life will deny the lifetime clutch potential of his opponents. And Ace clutch not to be the case here today. Life, the lightning fingers will zap him up and shut down that attempt.
Overdrive being popped to ensure that round is not lost. Honestly, you're still kind of happy about that if you're DRG. Forcing that overdrive popped in a 2 versus 1 scenario, it was very clear the positioning hadn't been known and was not made aware of. But Nick, seeing what Yosemite can do and trying to almost do it better, but life just has the utility, the incredibly powerful ultimate that was not meant to be near as close as it was, and the fact we got as close as that may cause FPX to be concerned.
At the very least, it does a lot of economic damage. Wow, you try to advance that and you still win it out. Ackerman says, what you can do, I can do better. Finds a beautiful opening kill, but into the site they go. There's still one more player at the back of the site though. It's Autumn, but he gets blindsided. Spirit! It's the 6th sense, catches Life's head through the smokes. Now, with the double man advantage.
And everything goes silent just as they wait the cage and everything. The setup, I'm honestly surprised this isn't a save.
Well, Chinese teams like to do a little bit of disrespecting. We'll see what they can get up in heaven. Yosemite, he's been solid so far, but no chances given into this one. FPX, they just gotta fight down on this bullet. Berlin's got the op. At least he's gonna be able to save that one. But DRG, the lovely execute here towards this A side.
Very, very clean. 4 members surviving, all walking away with guns as well. Wasn't quite a thrifty, but it was certainly not the easiest buy. And very nicely seeing that the pacing just getting shot back up there. Spirit deciding that smokes are merely a suggestion. He doesn't even need to see them.
This one, that was crazy coming in from the Neon. I mean, sliding through the Viper's utility, right? The Poison Orb as well as the Snake Bite. You know, you throw it up against 99% of players and no way they're gonna try to best that, but you can see the confidence, the conviction. Gets that opening kill. Reconsideration. Now we've got a heavy lean towards this C or B side. It's the dimensional drift coming from Spirit to clear out this entire C side. He's gonna assist in Garage as well. Sponsor Yosemite, and that is how you get that opening kill.
It's very, very clean as the Viper's Pit welcomes the members of DRG onto this C site here. Oh, I'm trying to dance around it. Of course, it is very difficult to maintain the control of a Viper Pit. It falls so fast, and Autumn actually going for a clutch swing here. Playing off of the orb, activates it perfectly, drops it, but Flex it is so ready for that with the Viper's Pit down and clear. FPX actually assuming that would be enough to have given up the C site for free. They try and push out and they get appropriately shut down. It's life in that mid with the operator, and I believe all they're going to try and do is keep this safe.
And again, they're going to find themselves in an undoable retake position. Again, they're going to find that op in the hands of 2 of their remaining players, and they just got to save it. I mean, it's been their key for a lot of their success right on life, but this time around it feels like Autumn was kind of left alone, you know, and on an island by himself on that seaside, no assistance from his teammates. Had to try to pull something in his favor, and while he found a really nice little cubby thanks to his, poison orb. The nice shots coming in from Nick was actually more than enough to shut him down and get them access towards the C side.
You can tell how patient DRG are before they fully rotate out. They really want to make sure that they can get the frags, that they can get the ult, that they can get the ult points, apologies, through the play towards Garage done absolutely perfectly. And if anything, Dimensional Drift is just being treated like an additional Sova drone that can't get shot. It can also body block for cheeky little combos with Hunter's Fury and such. So it is quite a strong VC utility. Of course, for anyone that doesn't notice as well, the map gets like a full just live ping the minute anyone has line of sight, so you can just use that to track someone through the map, and if you're like a Yang, get the Hunter's Fury through the wall.
This time around, we've got Life in the right position. Great out cover prevents him from finding any success here, but a little bit of a combo setup down towards the sewers. No access just yet. DRG not crossing that line of the sand. Instead, they opt to go down towards long. But in the meanwhile, FPX have a suspicion of this happening. They're gonna push down towards sewers, being aggressive with this op. They want to get Life that opening pick, and he will get it. No, never mind. It's Berlin to actually get that kill instead, and now to execute in towards the side. Life somehow managed to get that kill to the sliding Aquaman. They shut down the entire push here. DRG, they've stuck at the entrance. No access given towards the side as the smoke falls back down. Life has reassumed this close angle, and still the quickscope comes in. Shots fired through the smoke. They know that Nick is around this corner, and that is what you're gonna get if you try to test Life in towards his sight. Close range opping, and Nick with basically nothing to say in this one. He's 34 HP. FPX
剩余30秒。
gonna mark down this angle. There's 30 seconds left. Nick, he's gonna try, but I don't see him getting out of this mess.
Not at all. There's Steel Gardens there as well, so even if he somehow got a couple frags, he would have been forced to do it all on a classic, which is not what you're able to do against a team like FPX. So a 7-5 half on the starter pick for FPX. They must be at least somewhat happy about that, because if you lose Haven when it's your map pick, you're in a big, scarily concerning spot.
Yeah, this is not ideal. Despite them finding a little bit of success in towards the mid portion of their first half, they just weren't able to close out these last few rounds, right? And I mean, Life, I don't know how he gets away with these kinds of shots. Feels like you're never gonna be able to find that kind of success otherwise. But you know, this close range, I don't even know if the accuracy is online because the scope doesn't even fully.
Nope, it is wild how no scope. We got a no scope and a quick scope from him in one round. Is wild, actually. It was pretty bonkers. The leg shot as well, only possible because of the Viper wall. If there was no decay done, that would have been a leg shot that would have been survived, and the round would have went different.
Oh, interesting crowd survey. So which weapon is cuter? Dante, what's your vote?
I mean, I don't know, you put a bow on anything, I think it gets cuter, right? Is that not just the way to cheat cuteness? It's just stick a big bow in the top. What about you, Coldan? We up at the top? Yeah, we represent.
I think the one at the bottom is pretty cute, but it's seasonal, right? You can't use it every day of the year. You know, it feels like you can only bring it out when it's winter. So
true, that is true. Bow. We more prefer our melees to be, you know, all year round. You know, we'd rather not have to have a series that was, you know, 3/4 of the time not fitting, and the other quarter of the time it's seasonally fitting. So yeah, appreciate. That's how you know you're doing well, is if the casters agree on the same knife, on the same ornament. And honestly, one thing I want to quickly point out that I would like to see doing better. Speaking of the Yuletide festivities and all, I would like to see Vukashu give us a better game.
Yeah, I think we've got a faulty one. Can we?
Yeah, we've got a 2-10 Vukashu here. That is not the man we know.
That's not him.
No.
Yeah. Alright, well, this time around, Aquaman, lovely shot onto Life. It's Spirit to find a second one as well. Around the boxes, you've got Ayang, but he'll be swiftly dealt with. Autumn's 1 HP in the smoke. Calling for a little bit of assistance from Yosemite, and he's got to pull on a world beater of a performance if he wants to win this one. Isolated, spike dropped. Crossfire's being set up. Aquaman. Oh, I thought he would get caught out, but no, instead he picks up that triple kill. And DRG will answer back in the second half with a pretty strong pistol.
A phenomenally aggressive, give us our half back. We prefer the attacker-sided spawn. Very, very quick workaround, very solid strat, beautifully executed, and it's going to show that DRG are wanting to play this as aggressive as they played attack. They don't want to give FPX their time to think about their strats or their plays, because if you see, FPX were playing attack very patiently. They were kind of, or they were playing the defense, sorry, like very patiently. They wanted to wait until everyone was back up, everyone was together, and DRG are very much playing their defenses. We're not going to let you get your play set up. We're going to end them before they even start. Look at that, 4 people rotating as quick as possible already in towards this second round.
A little bit of a lurk smoke coming in from Berlin. It might be a little bit of a fake. You see 3 players down towards this Acer on this attacking side of FPX. They might want to tap the spike and then get out of there. That's exactly what they're going to try to do. The tap beats the rotation away. No, but Aquaman goes back in. He's aware of this. Oh, the lineup potential. No, just one. But still one more here. No, Spirit actually doesn't manage to get anything. It's the classics to do the dirty. They drop weapons across for the attacking side of players. Flexin will catch life. Bit of a spam through the smoke, but the spike goes down. It's a 3 versus 3 now in the post plan. It's highly doable. Caught out. Fukashu now in the feed. Picks up the secondary. But it's Autumn there. Holding on the fort on just 1 HP. No. Berlin now. Close range. Scope the weapons. Gotta do the dirt. Flexin now in 1 versus 1. He's not gonna move at all. He's just gonna hold his ground. Berlin spots him out. Toying around. Jumping around. Jackbox around the corner. But it's Flexin to shut him down. No right click win for you this time. It's a close call, but still they scrape away around win.
It's difficult whenever you're running around the boxes like that, because you don't know who's going to stop, you don't know if jumping's the right call, and unfortunately it wasn't quite. That near lineup was phenomenal. The play from Autumn and Life there is the distractions. Berlin then trying his best to take it, but it does get shut down by Flex, and beautiful positioning, beautiful setup, and we, because of that, are equalized right back up to 7-7.
Yeah, it's a really costly round though. Even though they got that win, you can look at the economy now, right, Dante? It's horrible for them. We've got one outlaw, which is something. And it's in the hands of the man that we need him to perform, right? It's Fukashu. On towards the seaside. Eyes down the longest sideline of this map. Early aggression from DRG to push any potential attackers away from that A site. Funnel them perhaps towards that Cypher with the best weapon. Have to wait and see if that comes into fruition.
The setups here, FPX are playing this so patiently. They cannot afford to give DRG anything, including a little swing like that. It's not good enough for the shot. It won't even connect, but it gives a little bit more information. Meanwhile, speaking of information, the Sova drone coming over the Viper wall to try and spot Aquaman. It does, and the utility is getting used to back him out, to push him away. But whether they know Spirit is with him or not is the true question. As the B site push commences, all members from DRG can collapse upon this as 2 already towards that window. It's all down to Autumn to prevent this flank.
Big fight here, as you mentioned, on this flank. Garage, another very pivotal fight here, but Autumn is gonna just swing in. Isolates the first kill to perfection. Flexin tries his best, but Yosemite's gonna mark Garage. Now Autumn is just toying with his food, but oh, a lovely slide comes in, but the trade frag is even better from FPX. 3 versus 2 now in the post plant. DRG lacking utility. No smokes here. They've just got to take the fight straight on. Beautiful shot. I don't know how he managed to see that, but still a kill found. Nick now noted for. Stinger in his hands. Berlin and Ayang. Incredible crossfire being set up. Nick will try his best to get away, but Berlin will mark his exit. And FPX will get up to 8.
Beautiful positioning, beautiful setup there, and as we were talking about, it very much came down to that flank spot. If window got opened up, the timing attempted from Garage as well was incredibly risky, but it didn't just play out the way that DRG were hoping, and because of that, FPX comfortable with the lead. They're split up towards this C site, finally actually giving some time to Vukashu to maybe hold a site, to maybe actually back up his team, as currently FPX have refused to let him play.
Oh, but it looks like he might be playing a little bit of a retake setup. Now he's gotten wind of that potential. He's creeping back in towards this site. Smoke down answered from this defense. Let's hold them at bay for the time being. The smoke comes in towards Garage. Execute comes through as well. Vukashu nullify for the time being. No chance here. Oh, but he creeps in. Advancement. But it's alive to still get that kill. Flexin now tasked to do the impossible. They know he's here. He had a kill before. And he picks up a second. So still very much doable for DRG. The spike goes down the middle of the site. It's 3 versus 3. Even playing field for both of these squads. Viper's utility gonna stall things out quite a bit. Arms playing up close and personal. Does the stun hit? The flash does. Oh, he just sprayed at a wall, but he still connects a double. Make that a triple. Aquaman slides in, but his life for the train. I don't know how Autumn got away with murder. It's insane stuff coming in from, you know, the talent that was brought across the sea. Flexin did his best to find a double kill, but it's Autumn to just line him up.
So clean.
Despite him being flashed and stunned, pushed into the open, he still managed to hold his ground.
One swift sidestep to the left dodges the fault line. One swift sidestep to the right gives him just enough time on that angle to survive the flash. As you said, Calden, it was very much, you know, he was just shooting at a wall. It shouldn't have worked out as well as it did, but he managed to find the space. He managed to make it work, and it's FPX that have actually forced this timeout here. They want to see how they can keep this momentum going, or more possibly just prevent DRG from fully gaining any momentum, from believing that they can take any round and make it work, because so far it's not been happening.
I mean, I haven't seen this kind of situation before for Vukashu, right? He had the right idea, he evaded the utilities from the attacking side, but still just unable to win some of these fights. I mean, should have gotten that kill onto life. Flexin also did great work there, but you know, it just feels like it's really weird, awkward situations that DRX find themselves in. They lose these kind of weird fights, and then the round just falls apart. So yeah.
And that's really all that needs to happen for FPX. If the rounds fall apart just 4 more times, they take their very convincing Haven map and go on to Ascent. But we'll have to see if that's going to be given up so early. DRG need this map. It is their map pick after all, so if FPX can get this 13x win, then they can really put DRG on the back foot. Going into a potential finale Ascent map is very dangerous against a team like FPX if they're allowed momentum. Of course, the exact same thing to FPX if DRG are able to take this back as the C site push commences. The close angle, the Bucky not quite being spotted, but I think it will be by Yosemite. He tries to take the shot, but Flexin's that much faster, and that is enough to just slow FPX's approach. There's one man in the Forum Berlin trying to fight this back, but as the TP comes through, that will be a safe disengage.
It's on to Ackerman, right? He's the only player here towards his A side. He's calling for the rotations now. But the spike, I don't think is going to be committed, at least just yet, right? They're still very wary of any early pushes from this defensive side. DRG have hedged their bets towards that A side, but it could not be further away from the truth. The smoke comes in towards Garage. The drone to clear out these positions. Vukashu now put on task. He has to go nuclear. He needs to pull out some incredible kills. A dink is not good enough. The site gets overrun. Berlin on 5 HP, but they still gain control over the CZ and get their spike planted. It's just a couple of sheriffs as well as a Bucky for this retake. It's less than ideal. Let's see if they can pull off some miraculous stuff from the DRG side. FPX, mark their visions down towards Garage. You've got 3 players here just looking at them. The Paranoid doesn't hit anything. Life, easiest kills of his life. Autumn with the second to last. It's just Nick by himself. And there's no chance for him to get back into this round. This is double digits for FPX.
It's very much looking that way. Nick, unfortunately, stuck with nothing but a dream. Ackerman even burning his overdrive, I believe, and not getting a single kill out of it. Not even really any positioning, as Nick, with the knife out, just waits for his end, waits for the round end, and waits for that double digit to be planted firmly for the side of FPX. A great execute off of what was the back was a phenomenal hold with that Bucky, but once it came down to it, that paranoia swing, Life's positioning absolutely flawless, and we can see a full setup. I'm going to cheekily call it towards B, at the very least the 3-man setup initially there, now disbanding towards a typical setup, but could have been a very make or break round for DRG if they opted for that mid push.
Oh. Lovely isolated walk down, but the flash just destroys Spirit. Doesn't get to TP away fast enough. And that's another opening kill for FPX. And DRG try to do something cheeky. Got the Omen to watch on top of boxes on the mid side of B, but still he gets eliminated. You're out of contention this time. And now FPX has the world to play with. They can go anywhere.
There's a little bit of hesitation, fully trying to peek out. They know DRG have played this aggressive, and they found where DRG are playing that aggressive. That should be enough of knowledge to really get this C site held, the C site pushed in. The Cypher Trip's not going to find anything. Give a little bit of information to DRG, but look at how the positions are taken. The back left corner, the guns and the bomb are being swapped out, so the Steel Garden comes online. The Viper's Pit as well. FPX are refusing to let this C site go.
Yeah, and they gave Yosemite the Steel Garden, so that's just an extra insurance ultimate. This is how you'd like to play the Viper's Pit, right? You've got the Viper in the back lines. Life is taking first contact, but it's not even gonna matter because DRG just cut their losses this round off the back of a single opening kill. Has resulted in their loss, and they have to go for a 4-man save.
I respect it because the economy's not looking great. This is the best time to get it, but you've still got a lot of ultimates online if you're FPX. This hasn't been, you know, a round that they've had to throw everything in to make it work. The Viper's Pit, yes, but if there's a time to use it, a post-plant scenario like that is really just the most opportune time. The placement off the back of the Viper's Pit, absolutely phenomenal, and a 4-man retake was forced into a 4-man save. I respect that from DRG, but they have to make that utility work now.
I mean, I would say a timeout right now would be perfect because I think we might just get that as well. It's looking real dire, right? All of their ideas just really haven't been able to come to fruition, whether it's like awkward opening fights or the setups just having one small little gap. FPX are just exploiting every single minute detail that they can find.
And that's what you need to do. That's what you should be doing. We would hope that FPX would not let DRG away with anything, and that is exactly the case. It's been a phenomenal showing from like DRG when they get the space, when they get that control, but FPX have been so clean at shutting them down, so clean at making sure the retakes aren't as solid, the initial takes aren't as solid. In terms of the spike conversion, FPX has been pretty damn flawless with it. So we'll get to look at those stats, of course, afterwards. Right now, I think DRG are very much just kind of saying FPX have such a clean defense. We just need to really, you know, they had such a clean defense. We now just need to, you know, tackle into that. We had the aggressive opening pick. Now I think it's time for the defaults to start. Now I think it's time for your retakes and just see if you can make them work out better.
And this timeout has got to really invigorate the DRG side because... You know, you lose this one, your economy is bottomed out. You're not gonna have a lot of chances left here. It's an immediate fight down towards A. Oh, and then Ackerman manages to find that opening pick, but Ayang somewhere else catches onto Spirit. That's down towards short, I think. So, a trade of duelists, but still, a chance for DRG to answer back. They try to pivot FPX in towards this B site. Couple players here, but no commitment just yet.
They know that Cypher setup is there. They know Fukashi has been waiting. They know the setup has came through. They can't quite find it. There we go. This tripwire shot down the steel garden comes out to play, pushes DRG so far away. But Nick, the Viper wall, the cloud is just a suggestion, finding 2 through it, and enough to actually make FPX fully reconsider their push. While Flexen decides to make them regret that decision. The hesitation has caused their defeat, and it's just Autumn stuck in between every member of DRG.
We'll call it intuition or a little bit of luck. Still a really solid round coming in from DRG here. Autumn now in an impossible 1v4, make 1v3.
Oh no.
Okay, now we have to talk about this one. Autumn, 18 seconds to work. He's got his poison orb down, pops it up, goes into the smoke, pets that kill now found, 10 seconds left, and Autumn just tears them apart! Stands up and asks them to sit down because what in the world was this kind of a clutch? 1v4 pre-plan, no time left.
Oh no. Oh, that is heartbreaking if you are DRG, and that is how quickly heaven can become hell. Very, very brutal setup. A phenomenal, a flawless showcase on how you get an aggressive push and then give it all away. Autumn, nothing to be said there. 4 separate 1v1s, takes all of them and takes FPX to match point. This aggressive defense we've seen from DRG immediately coming back through.
Well, that's the final straw that's gonna break this camel's back. You can't even call it a straw, maybe just a massive hay bale of a clutch. Because that has just shattered the backs of DRG. 12 now found for FPX. They just need one more. They've got a couple of great ultimates they can work around with. The overdrive, you got the Hunter's Fury to work around with. You manifest here. Ackerman's gone a deep line down towards A lobby. The owl drone will come out to push him back, but live swings in together with the drone. That is beautiful timing coming in from FPX, and A side is open for business.
Berlin just popping through, making sure everything is up to code as the shutters are opened, but it's actually a bit of a fake, a sold push, if you will, and DRG have bought it, but unfortunately, you've got to survive, Berlin. You've got to fully sell this because there hasn't been that execute towards the B site yet, and a lot of positioning for DRG still actually suits the rotate as it comes through. The utility is set up. There is still a frag for DRG. Make it 2, but Ayang fighting back, and with this post-plant scenario yet again, FPX have made these work so consistently in the past, and it looks like they're going to yet again as the remaining members fall, and a comfortable 13-7 for FPX.
That was a top-class showing coming in from FPX on this map that they lost previously up against DRG in a very convincing fashion, but this time they come in rejuvenated. Their game plan looks pristine. Those slow-paced rounds with that Viper just was everything to counter anything that DRG tried to do.
And that's the thing, when you're adapting like DRG were, but you're just being predicted the way FPX were managing to do it, is just difficult. That there, the swinging off of the oil drone was perfect. Nick trying his best to fight it off, as he so often did, but he just couldn't quite land the shots. And we get to see a beautiful selection of just how back and forth these rounds were.
Yeah, Autumn, I think one of the star players in this server, not just because of that clutch, not just because of the kills, but his utility usage as that Viper, especially on that attacking side, was so pivotal for them getting so many of these rounds, so much map control. Yosemite, you know, he had a beautiful start, I guess, to the map, but you know, towards that second half, it really petered out. I think the sides was really, like, it really was evident which team was the better team in that second half. Yeah, FPX, what a showing here on Haven.
And this is how you do it, and here we get it. The moment that really shut everyone up, the moment that probably left DRG having to pick up their jaws from the ground when they realized Autumn had just stolen it away, and we will be jumping into the team comms for these rounds to let you hear it.
前必压，
没，我看着了。
Breaching on A.
Can you watch in? Can you watch in?
Main,
快来 B。Guys, 3B. I can watch crash in A push, OK？ 我还是需要维持到刀，我需要维持到刀。Ready？
等一下，我再来。
那就去。
人不多呀，2个 A 大镜。
对。
C 出2 C 窗的，
按这边条线，
开个飞机看有没有人，有人在开大吧，要不？
别急，你就开了，你就把大开了，知道是。一会儿打就行了。好了。
下包，下包。
我兄弟。直接金鱼下包呀。
I'm gonna hold down team, OK? Hold on. Never fire it.
Holding C，
没事，给你。
中央了，没有 TP 吗？
剩余30秒。
有没上？对，ready。
Yeah, smoke. Far B 2, one pushing open stage.
There was any doubt, as if there was any doubt as to who would walk away.
I mean, Autumn is he's that guy. I mean, there was one little misplay that he had right when he was in the Viper's pit towards SC side, on the defensive side. But after that, I think he just turned it up to 101. Every single one of these rounds, his impact was felt. And you can see here in the scoreboard, I mean, it was competitive in that first half, but in that second half, FPX just ran away with things. It was 7-5 at the half, turned into the 13-7. Autumn leading by example. He had life on some crazy rounds. Yosemite was actually holding on the fort on that attacking side for the first half. So,
yep.
Again, his whole team effort here for FPX.
It really is, and unfortunately, if you say that, you kind of look towards DRG and the big performers, usually in the form of Vukashi and Spirit, just not quite able to show up. The scoreline there, FPX winning everything, converting 10 first bloods, 1 thrifty, the spike defusals, and then that 1 clutch from FPX, which of course is going to be burned into everyone's minds. But a 6 out of 7 spike conversion is absolutely insane for a map like Haven.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, lovely stuff from FPX right there. And this is, ladies and gentlemen, reminder that this is DRG's map pick, right?
Yeah.
So they just stole away a really strong map from DRG, what should have been a strong map from DRG considering their previous encounter. But now going over to Ascent, FPX's map pick, that is something that, if you're DRG, you gotta be a little bit hot under the collar, as you're demonstrating right there. This series, might just have a crazy ending to it, because who could have guessed it? FPX with a beautiful performance here on Haven.
Yeah, they really did. And while we get everything set up, get everything dragged up, we are going to be cutting to a short little break. And ladies and gentlemen, when we are back, we'll be jumping right back in to Ascent for our map 2. Don't go anywhere.
Alright guys, welcome back to VCT China's, brought to you by Project Horizon. And yeah, that was a pretty interesting map number 1 if you guys were watching it with us. It was DRG's map pick of Haven, but FPX took it by storm in a convincing win from them, sets them up, you know, to potentially take this series in a 2-0 fashion over their arch rivals of DRG.
Yeah, they are looking to end this loss streak that they have had, and so far it's looking pretty solid from FPX's side. A beautiful start, pretty close first half on Haven, and then very much FPX just ran away with it and shown how you play a Haven defense pretty much flawlessly. Now it's Ascent, it's been tried, it's been tested, it's true. Very little changes here unless you're in VCT.
Yeah, and you know, speaking about changes, right? We did have a little bit of a highlight of life in like the pre-game segment. This, and you know, one of the agents that you mentioned that live played was that Waylay. And you know, looking at the most recent match of Ascent, which we are going into, you know, we do have the Phoenix and Waylay combination, the double duelist on Ascent, you know, on a map that traditionally doesn't see a lot of agent comp changes. You have a really interesting one on the side of FPX, so I'm really curious to see if they're still gonna bring in that kind of energy here against DRG.
I would be surprised if they didn't. I would be surprised if they opted not to, because I think that's very much when FPX pick that's almost their show of confidence. When FPX have that Waylay Phoenix setup, that's very much a belief that their executes are on point, their mechanics are on point, their cohesion is on point. That is a composition that just shows a very confident, a very dominant side of them. So if we didn't see that, would be a bit shocked. On the other side, DRG have basically always very much appreciated and respected the standard comp of Ascent, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, what is a standard comp in VCT China? So, you know, that's debatable.
Four Sentinels is a standard comp of VCT China.
When was the last time we saw any China's team play like the full default Ascent comp? That's actually something that just popped in my head, but
it's been
might need a little bit of digging.
It depends who you consider out of the Killjoy or the Viper, or the Cypher. Sorry, not Viper. Apologies. If you consider the Cypher more standard, then it's not been too long. I think if you consider the Killjoy more standard, I think only one team's even ran that, and it was DRG. So we'll get to see if they potentially go with that. Be cool to see. It really would. I'd like it.
I actually wouldn't like it. I would like more chaos, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. I mean, if you look at the previous.
Speaking of chaos.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. We got the double duelist on FPX. DRG is gonna whip out that Clove Yoru combination. And yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Akaman, you know, maybe. No, my theory is like if you run that kind of a Clove, you want to move like that more of a fast-paced style. You've got the flashes of Vukashu as well, but that, you know, on the flip side of things, you don't really have as much initiator utility or like entry power utility. But I mean, that composition kind of works, right? It's a hybrid of sorts, right? You've got double controllers, you've got the flashes on Vukashu, you've got the flashes on Spirit, you've got Nick with the information gathering utility as well. So it's a different style of play, but it could definitely come up in fruition for them.
It's interesting running double controller and so many flash agents, because they kind of not counter each other. Obviously at this stage there's executes, there's pre-planned, they know where the flashes are going, they know where the smokes are, but there's a little bit to be said for playing double controller, especially when it's not Viper, especially just Clove, Omen, that are two bubbles you can hide in. There is a bit more to be considered from those flashing angles, from those executes, so it will be interesting to see how that's run. But if you want to talk about fancy angles and mega executes, you really only have to look at FPX's setup as we get into this first round.
Oh, it's been never since I casted a Waylay Phoenix composition, so I'm really excited for this one. And well, Nick, really excited to get things started. Love the opening kill. They go through their own wall, and Akam is just waiting on the other side. Lovely double opening from DRG already. It just thins the numbers of FPX. They'll try their best. Life will find that kill until Nick forms the catwalk position. They're all stuck here towards the beat house spot. Live is in a little bit of advanced positioning, but he's gonna rely on the rest of the team. Oh, he dashes up and above, still gets the kill, teleports back, but Vukashu's there to close things out. DRG with a mid crunch for the ages just takes all of the gunfights to DRG.
The refraction is not quite enough to save life. Unfortunately, it does not find a way. And a very, very comfortable defense here from DRG. A very comfortable initial setup towards market, knowing the push is going to come through, and still just readying yourself for the position, for the anti-flash, for the for any sort of refrag that is necessary. And now with that DRG, a 49% win rate on the pistol, getting very close, and a full stack towards this SI. A judge from Flex, and already been made it clear, and Nick having to back him up.
Okay, this is where all the double controller smokes come into play. There's 3 smokes just littered into towards A main, and after a bit of a skirmish there, I mean, Life has lost his life. You've got a really deep angle being held by Spirit down towards mid. He's gonna give up the angle just as they cross, and he's not gonna catch the first, but he's gonna spot the last 2. That's information at the very least. By setup here towards this B side, it's gonna make things incredibly difficult. Especially the smoke coming in as well is stalled out for FPX for the time being.
The sheer setup as well, that angle for the Vise wall is just so deadly. And speaking of an angle,
no, wait.
Speaking of an angle, look to your left, Aquaman. Oh no, Berlin playing the character of Omen, cosplaying absolutely perfectly. That is a lore performance from Omen. And with that, the control as well has also been given up, as Spirit and Nick are finally able to find the members of FPX that have been spread around this map. The remaining ones trying their best to push out of this B main site. They are going to fall, and DRG, it is a long second round, but one that comfortably goes in their favor.
Small little hiccup in the middle, but they stabilize at the very end. They prevent any more leakages coming in throughout the map, and thankfully it was just a couple of pistols, right? So didn't have the most threatening of positionings. Still, great job from Vukashu. Picks up a double kill there. Spirit comes in for a bit of assistance. Now FPX will try to win out this anti-bonus of it.
And you mentioned him, Vukashu, already nearing as many kills as he got in that first game.
Let's go.
So a phenomenal performance from him to start with. A Spirit been holding that aggressive angle you've been mentioning so much. And the re-swing from U70 though, it is 140 to the body, but you are not surviving an outlaw shot. A phenomenal first frag onto the Killjoy. No ult points for U70. No post-plant scenario at all alive for FPX.
That's a beautiful pick from the DRG side, and this is a really deep clove smoke, so it's gonna force in a little bit more concern here. But the double swing comes through. Flash for assistance. Vukashu hears all of this, as well as flexing right around the corner with the judge. And the benefit of having that double controller is like you just kind of permanently re-smoke any corner, any choke point that you would want. Flexin still's got 2 smokes just coming up around the corner. She's gonna permanently smoke this out.
Need to wait for anything else. The Phoenix wall comes through. That's not enough. As finally they try and break through. All that time spent FPX wanting onto the B site, and Flexin reminding them of its new opening hours with 15 seconds on the clock. The spike still stuck towards that main, and all members of DRG praying towards this B main site. I think Ayang and Berlin are gonna have to leave this, and DRG to their third.
Yeah, FPX, I mean, if you want to execute, you've got to have a really good set play, because so many smokes that you could just throw down. That's a little bit of difference, right, if you have that Viper, because, you know, you actually have that little Viper's toxic wall down towards mid, so you don't have as much stall in terms of the smokes towards the main choke points, but with a clove instead, you could just permanently smoke that out. But here, that first opening pick was everything, and then that smoke there just instantly blocking their path to the judge behind it. Lovely stuff coming in from DRG to win out the bonus. Now FPX just on a meager eco round of their own. We've got Ayang as well as Autumn with weapons. We'll see if they can pull something back for this attacking side.
They really need to. They technically have a 6v5 going with Autumn on the run it back. No frags just yet, so he needs to find him. But Ayang starts off beautifully, and Yosemite follows up. The sheriff shots are true. It is mostly red on this kill feed, but there is a little bit of a fight back from DRG. Autumn not letting them walk away without that though. And what was starting off as a pretty rough buy for FPX, at least a bit of difficulty, is shaping up to be a round win. How comfortable that is remains to be seen.
Yosemite is just touring the map. He's just having his little adventure down towards A. They very much know that Nick is down towards mid, but eventually he will come in. Assist his teammates. And Nick's not gonna expect this at all, but now that he's spotted out, a chance given over. Hit shot found, damage done though onto Nick. Pulls out for Berlin. Ayang right around the corner as well. Shouldn't be able to lose this one. And Nick, he's got to find some incredible shots if he wants to win this one. FPX looking to win at first on the board. Not without a bit of casualties. Nick does a boatload of damage, but still FPX, after a crazy fight down mid, they pull away with a first round win.
As you said, Nick, though, I think has made it. So DRG are pretty happy with that. Yeah, okay, you lost it, but all four out of possible 5 members down and all the guns destroyed like that, when it didn't initially look like it could have went any other way, FPX just fought it back oh so beautifully. DRG at least doing a fight back for themselves. So we'll see how the economies are shaping up. 2 operators staring at each other. Life's waylay has been phenomenal, and this teleport out, should they activate it, is what we're excited to see.
Yeah, the double op is at least in a 1 op on each side. They don't clash for the time being, but they might soon. Life now exploring down towards mid. Recon dart spots nothing down the close portion of this map. Smokes down towards A main. Moments want to test things out, but Spirit's the one to find out. A little bit of a shoulder. Doesn't connect onto anything. For a bit of a jump peek through. Information garnered. But still, they have options to explore the map. Tree is a little bit weak on this defensive side. We've got 2 players on this A side on this defense. They've got to be careful because as time ticks down low, got to be careful of Tree. They can't stay in that corner forever. The flash and the jump through from Auto. Now Flexing's under pressure.
He's holding fast. He knows Nick is behind him, and that's enough. Berlin, though, shutting that down. Yosemite likewise, and the angles between these two. The smokes played off of beautifully. They're not even the ones set up with that double controller angle, and they are making it work absolutely beautifully as both members of DRG and Vukashu Nakaman trying their best to fight back onto the site. But the positioning from FPX here, it's Berlin, it's Ayang, and then the 2 positioned up towards heaven. There is no way, no chance DRG are given as they all calmly exit the site with their guns intact.
Okay, so they have now they have a double op. For the time being, not anymore. Vukashu.
Oh, a bit overzealous, Ayang. I do respect it.
Yeah, and you got money to spend. You could, test things out. But again, they have FPX. That was a lovely round from them. Didn't really have too much action at the beginning of the round, but after getting information across the map, noticing that mid is weakly guarded, they were just waiting for a straight, A split. And the players, the defenders, actually around this A site, not really committed to either fight, right? They didn't actually control over Wine or A main. And there was one player kind of in towards that choke point towards A main, the other in towards Dice. It just made it for a little bit of an awkward crossfire setup. They weren't really fighting for anything. So yeah, lovely split, just breaks apart that kind of a defense. FPX with a pretty solid round there. DRG now taking this time out, kind of pull back this ship. Don't want to let it get too far off, of course.
think honestly the way they want to consider it done is having the Omen set up super quick for the kind of getting on the site, and then I think you just want to have the Clove set up anywhere as long as they do die on site. It does mean that, of course, the post death smokes can still be used. You've got your Omen then to, you know, just kind of sit, and of course, whenever the Omen are, you know, players of this caliber, whenever the Omen is someone that can very much land their shots, you want them off of their utility screens as fast as possible. You want the guns ready to go, you want the angles held, and you want the heads to be clicked. And again, as I was saying, you know, especially if you've got players like Ayang, like Berlin, dancing around those smokes, going to be super important. Oh.
That's an important opening, and he's still sticking around for more. Dodges all of the utility. Finally gets blinded, but he's out of there. Instant teleport, gate crash out of things. But flexing, no! A master of the smokes and the corners to perfection. Spirit now top of heaven. We'll find that final kill. The dynamic duo just shut down all of the efforts on this ace site.
The ops allowed to play, the smokes down, trying to force little cheeky gaps there, almost as if I believe the suggestion being heard from the FPX squad, but unfortunately Life just not able to have the backup on time. Ayang's able to get one, but it is crucially late, and the smokes meaning that Spirit can find his target. A beautiful round to get DRG swimmingly back into this game.
Yeah, you lack the Autumn Phoenix, right? Instantly taken out of the round. That's one of the most pivotal agents, and with the utilities to get you those entries like that, don't really have as much of a threat on that execute. Our utilities now thrown down towards mid. They've gotten access towards catwalk. We'll set up here on DRG towards tree. Flash is great though. Pulls them off the angle. Second one's even better, but the answer back with paranoia. Oh, my Life has spotted out the second player. Is the dash in just to throw away the crosshairs, but they know Flex is stuck in his corner. A lot of damage taken over, but still teleports away back towards the site itself. Our Life. What an adjustment. Realizes that Vukushu could be coming in from that angle, and Flex spots the remaining players heading for the hills, dashing straight towards this B side, but Spirit's there. He's got the up in tow. Is marking down this close angle. No utility for this. Just a jump across. That is ambitious. Still gets one, but the spike crosses as well. Second layer now in, but the smoke comes through. And the Omen will allow them safe access towards the site. Just like that. Only Life being that single kill. We might even need to just call for a save from DRG.
It's looking like it. All the members of FPX, they have so much control. They do allow 2 1 versus 1s, I would say, pretty comfortably. But after that, they will have cost so much time, but so long for that spike to take down that, yeah, as you can see, no real movement from the members of DRG. They're happy with their positions they've got. They're happy with the guns they have. They just want to see if anyone from FPX is willing to push up on them. But as we can see through the map, that's not really going to be the case. A comfortable 7th round victory for FPX, and DRG still looking comfy, but on the back foot.
Yeah, they'll retain this up of theirs. And clearly, it's one of the most important win cons for them on this defensive side to prevent any of those slow contact plays, right? That they could, that FPX, you know, kind of like to do. Just creep up close towards the side, explode with a bunch of utility. That op there, super important to stop any kind of strategies that FPX would like. That kind of style.
Will hopefully be enough to shut them down. We will have to wait and see if that's the case. So at the moment, the ops yet again set up towards mid. Spirit being pushed off by the oil drone. That Phoenix wall that we've seen tried and true again, but only one member actually using it to push off up here to cause any sort of difficulty under tree. Speaking of pushed up, Akama is close, manages to just barely play around the Silva Dart, but pulls the trigger a little bit early, falls because of it. The lockdown comes down, and there is no member of DRG online to currently stop this.
Love the utility. One good smoke here. Access towards the side. The nano swarms will do the work. Oh, but around the corner, Spirit, not the best weapon. Pushed back by the utilities of that Phoenix. And just like that, FPX, they just swarm the site. They win every single fight. And now Nick's just left alone as that anchor rotate from that ace site. His teammates have just been eliminated one by one. You can see the X's on the map all by themselves. No real chance for a trade in most of these situations. So FPX, they tie up the scoreline, finding their groove. They might even just hunt for Nick as well.
侦查任务失败。
Oh, becoming the hunted VAV. Oh, I'm having to shut it down, but a beautiful two-piece at the very least from Nick. Oh, imagine to keep the op online, as you said, Coldan, and now we have moved on to the 9th round, and it's looking pretty clear why this was FPX's pick. It's of course not going flawlessly for them, but they do seem so confident in taking these fights. They seem so confident in their positioning.
Yeah, you can see how is Berlin there, you know, as the execute happens, the Omen is just in your spawn. Really sends him for a loop. And you can see FPX are slowly understanding how DRG have their setups in place. Well, it's not exactly the same as DRX, but yeah. 4-4 now. FPX got the op still in the hands of life. Another slow-paced round, but it's slowly just drawing the soul out of DRG. They just don't really have an answer. You have Nick as well as Flexing with the 2 rifles here, so they're all posted towards this A side of the map. Gotta just hope that it ends up here. They will around this corner though. Spirit, you can find one and get away. Chance perhaps.
No getting away, surely. No getting away, even if he got that one. And in fact, Berlin's using that to try and fight what he can. He stayed up to deal with Flexen, and Flexen has at least been pushed back. But the utility, the gun, so much in FPX's favor. The play, the executes, it's all FPX as DRG crumble and give away that B site for free.
Yeah, you know that FPX are feeling it when Life is entering with the classic.
Yeah.
Dashing in. He's got the op in his backpack. Just whips out the classic. It's gonna be more than enough. Trust in his teammates to find a trade even if he doesn't. And another beautiful round from FPX. Yeah, it was a little bit of a half buy, but they evade the 2 rifles that were in this round. Don't lose a single player on the execute. And again, DRG forced to save. FPX slowly gonna continue to build up that economy.
And getting this round differential looking back and clean with them. Not this time pushing out to try and find DRG. FPX have very much been strict on their returns policy on the guns, and they very much do not allow that warranty to be extended through to next round. This will be one of the rare exceptions as all of FPX just rotate out, let the spike detonate, and 2 members of DRG in Nick and co will still be alive to bring these guns into the next round.
Yeah, you can see FPX players slowly understanding that they are finding that groove as well. Lovely split in towards this B site. I'll have to have a little bit of a question as to what DRG wants to do here, because everything that they've wanted to do has really not been successful other than like what, the first 3 rounds. Now you've got every single ultimate that you could ever wish for. Surely now's a chance for DRG to strike back.
This is the concern when you start to see, as you've pointed out, 5 ults. That means people are a bit scared to use them. People are a little bit indecisive about it, you know, about buying their time. Vukashu here, the way DRG have been playing, there's a chance he doesn't get to use the Steel Garden, despite the fact it is so damn strong. We hear one ult being popped. It is, I believe, the Hunter's Fury coming through. No, it's actually the run it back from Autumn to try and gain any space for FPX as possible. It's enough. Sidewalk comes through, and the Steel Garden to shut down the push. It's all just Sheriffs. It's all just sidearms. It's Ayang, the one man alone on this site in the dimensional drift to try and flush him out. It's Akaman and Spirit to just shut everything down on this back of Boathouse.
Steel Garden was perfect. It just took away all the weapons. Autumn will try his best. Fast fire is being set up. He knows that there's one in market, but it's Spirit to swing out first. With a triple kill found, the Yoru with the dimensional drift slides in towards the site, hunkers it down. and shuts down FPX.
Smokes have been a suggestion throughout the entire of the entirety of VCT China, but that is another great exemplar of it. Spirit then with the control all gained, with that infestation dealt with, we will say. Pretty comfortable to take the round and equalize everything right back up. With the round differential looking the way it was looking like FPX would just be running away with it, and it seems that DRG aren't quite happy to let that go down just yet.
I want to play a bit disruptive here for Spirits. Up close and personal, waiting for the Blaze Wall to drop. One's there for the time being, but Live has got his one-shot weapon here. Jump peek through, lovely. Identification of his position. Spirit tries to capitalize on that info, but instead he cops a bullet. Aquaman now answering back with another frag down towards mid. Fights on multiple fronts. Now Autumn up against Aquaman around this corner. The flash timing has to be perfect, and yes it is. Not dead yet, coming back from the grave, but it's Fukashu to still find that frag on Autumn. They drop the spike in the mix, and they spot out where Life is. Oh, the Prowler stuck around the corner. And well, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place as well. Aquaman with a final kill. Berlin only able to get that one in all of that chaos. And DRG come back with a resurgence.
A lot of ultimates utility used. Of course, it's great to have it because this is the last round. If you die without using the ultimate, then of course it is just a waste. The only exception, of course, being that not dead yet, which Aquaman did opt to try and gain all the control, but it was just to be that extra member, that distraction. It was all Aquaman to get the shots, to land those frags, and it could be a potential for a 7-5 here. If it's 6-6, you are so happy to be FPX.
Have a little bit of a discussion later after this, but I feel like 6 rounds, I mean, it's okay for FPX. I get it, it's Ascent, but considering that composition, I would have liked it if they had 7 or 8 rounds. But of course, DRG, you know, that 3-round streak at the start made it really difficult. 6. The context is not bad. This smoke here. Gotta reveal that the operator was down towards mid. Rotate coming in from Spirit to bolster up this A side. The drone come in, followed up by a couple of players on FPX.
All push towards the tree, forces the control. We see the convergence come through. We see the ultimate Life dances through, dashes up, finds Flex, and the shorty is good for one to shut down that tree fight, but that's all it will be good for as the remaining members of FPX burst through the tree. The hot hands comes through. Spirits is actually cooking alive, gets dropped to quite a significantly low HP pool, and the timing from Ayang is certainly perfect with the door slammed in DRG's face with a lurk from Yosemite as well. The timing could just be absolutely perfect, and it is. Oh, but the shots are not. Akuman given a chance here. Eventually shut down.
Well, Hunter's Fury. Might as well use it.
May as well.
6-6. We're all tied up. Even scoreline as we go into the second half. FPX, despite them being down 0-3 to kick off this half, they've recovered. 6-6, not bad. Not too shabby, all things considered.
I mean, that's the thing, like, DRG did pick, you know, defense to start with. That has to be said. So there is something to be considered that it just was, you know, FPX. They getting 6 rounds on attack, they're happy with it, and now they move on to defense, which, as you said earlier, you know, Koldan, it's Ascent. It's pretty comfortable that it goes towards defense. And while the Waylay not quite as strong on the defender side as a thing like Yori or such, still can find its space.
Right, I mean, we've got a pretty cool dude here being interviewed. Would love to understand what he's saying. But
sadly, we will get around to that. We will our beloved translations and such, but we'll get. It's just asking about double smoke, which is always could, if an audience member has a better outlook on the double smoke meta than like the coaches, I would love to see that. Actually, that would be phenomenal.
I think that's pretty cool. I mean, if it's genuinely just one of the audience members, and You get the insights into. Okay, so we just got confirmation. That, yeah.
The belief indeed.
Translation was that he was really impressed by Autumn's 1v4 clutch and hopes that they could get to the playoffs.
I mean, if there's a way to start, it's a 1 versus 4 clutch from Autumn, and it gave them the first map in Haven pretty comfortably. We'll have to see if it can get through, because again, that was DRG's pick, and as you can see, 7-13 scoreline is not the best. 6-6 going into defensive half from FPX on this Ascent is a bit rough as well, particularly because DRG, they don't have the Sova. They've opted for the Fades, so the Oil Drone and the Sova setup's not going to be quite, well, not going to be at all showing from the attack side here anymore for DRG, and it's this reliance on Spirit to get them through the sightlines, through these choke points, and on to the actual map presence.
I'm expecting something a little bit more aggressive on this defensive side for FPX, right? With that double duelist, and have a little bit of a more aggressive stance, right? And have trap play. You could push out towards avenues that you traditionally probably couldn't. Waylay is fantastic for that, you know, the double dash, then you can recall back to where you started. This round, DRG have got all their players lined up, eyeing towards this B site. It's Yosemite as well as Ayang to anchor down this B site.
And the Hawk comes through immediately. Shot doesn't scan very much. Spirits just walks into his grave. The teleport not quite perfect as the counter sonar to buy as much time for the team. Ayang and Co just fighting here. Yosemite, the angle's good, but the shots are not. Bukashu as well shuts down Ayang, and with that, a 4 versus 3 retake for FPX. The defense looks so solid to start with, but DRG have just ripped it apart.
Oh, well, it's down to a 2 versus 4. We got Autumn as well as Berlin now coming in for assistance, but Nick's got wind of this. Understands that they're both here, wrapping towards the stairs. Little bit of a whip shot. Autumn will punish, but Flexin will collect the quad kill for the Omen. That gets them a very important pistol round.
Flexen just wanted to go for the ace. They were just trying to keep it going for Flexen's ace, but when the frag came down, it was a bit too late. And yeah, like, look at this start off here. Ayang just seemed to have it, and then the shots just kept going DRG's way. That right click, the follow-up swing. Even if, you know, we'd mentioned you'd talked about Nick getting punished by Autumn, but at the very least the positioning's still there. And DRG, a 49% win rate with the pistol rounds. They've got to be feeling a bit happier about that. They've been building it up, and FPX are on their way to congratulate you towards this mid side.
This just gotta be careful. Yeah, they hear this reload, they want to capitalize off of him backing out this smoke. Nakaman is like, hey, wait a minute, you just came from there. Now there's a bunch of players trying to swarm this position. Mid compromise. The scan comes in, they get easily dealt with. Yosemite though makes things a little bit interesting. Double kill found, picks up a bulldog. A little bit more damage in this round.
You see the spike being dropped, hot potato being played by DRG. They want to know who to give the ultimate to, who to get the ult points, of course. Spirit is the correct answer, the dimensional drift just being so important. And at this time, Yosemite has to trek an entire map. And while he has been away sightseeing before, I don't quite think the sightseeing towards A is not lovely this type of year.
As Fran likes to say it, Yosemite touring Ascent. Not as scenic as touring the national park in America, no? I think the actual Yosemite might be a little bit more pleasant to the eyes.
We'll have to see. It seems very much DRG agree with you. They have not invited anyone towards this A site for the festivities, and as Yosemite will have to just fall towards the spike. You do not want to be saving that bulldog when you've got that full buy on the way.
Oh, sir. Leave that bulldog away. At the very least, you do a little bit of damage, right, to the economy. Not too much, but still. I think this matchup between these two teams could really tilt in either team's favor at this point, right? It's just 8-6 now. First 2 rounds of the second half of DRG. FPX now looking to strike back. They've got all the weapons that they would want. DRG, let's see what setups they have on this attacking side.
We'll have to wait and see as the gate crash goes down towards the back of Cafe. It gives Spirit that easy exit should he wish, but there is a timer on it. It doesn't stick around forever. He gets the old orb. One will do it. One will put on for the dimensional drift, and it looks like DRG are actually fully playing around this alt economy commitment. They are fully ready to rotate towards that B site, maybe through the usage of mid, depending on what Ackerman can spot. He only has the Sheriff, so he's very much just down for a little bit of surveillance, and it will be enough to get his team onto the mid side.
Now a little bit of mid aggression. They're gonna park Life's Waylay deep in towards that B main. Also a little bit more of a dynamic positioning of the defense. Ayang's gonna use the drone to spot out at least one of the players down towards mid. Still not enough to confirm anything. Knife now on his little lonesome. Ash acknowledges that there is a player around the corner. Oh, but Nick though gets blindsided, not aware that Life was that close up and personal, and now his flank has been compromised. A bunch of players down towards Market. Wants to get back towards the side, it seems, but now he's being caught in a weird position. Dodges it. Oh, gets baited by the clone. Just like that, Vukashu will collect that kill. A slow-paced round from DRG. But Yosemite's there to back his team up. A lovely kill onto Akaman. The site is still heavily guarded. The paranoia, good for the first. Judge is not the best in that situation. Makes things interesting. 2 versus 2 now, but there's still one more in the side. It's Ayang. Trade there now, down to a 1 versus 1. 4 seconds left. Yosemite right around the corner. Has to swing out wide. Oh, but it's Spirit to drag them out of the dumps. A triple kill from the Yoru. Gets them a crucial round win.
That's how did DRG keep doing it? How, at moments where there is nothing but defeat on the line, victory is snatched from the jaws. A phenomenal clutch of play there. A phenomenal setup. It looked done and dusted. It just seemed every way was going the side of FPX with only 4 seconds left. The spike is grabbed. It is planted.
3
and that
bullets.
headshot. 3 bullets left as well is insane.
We might have another insane round right on our cards, Dantes. Oh, but FPX think better of it. They just dropped the smoke down. A Market with the Bucky in their hands. And Berlin's creeping towards Wine, but they're right home about just their life. Small little timing misses the advancement of all of the DRG players down top of mid, now onto Catwalk. And just as that happens, Life has rotated away from this A site.
They're getting a bit antsy. You can see Berlin set up towards Wine, but it's been very, very consistent clear. The time has been insane. It's been very consistent clears of Wine, but there's no utility to do it. There's no CNCs. There's no anything else. The dimensional drift means Yosemite has to act, and unfortunately he falls immediately as the remainder of DRG all spill out from this triangle. There's one man, it was Berlin, but he's been spotted out. The paranoia is just treated. Flex and trying his best to get away, but the ghost from Berlin is enough to hunt him down, get the frag. Ackerman tries to bail him out. It's a little bit late. He reads where the remaining members of FPX fall are coming from, but that's a beautiful shot from Ayang, who's already on top of the wall. The swing is not a double, it's a solo swing. It gives the 1 versus 1. The flash is turned, but Autumn still good with the stinger. The run it back even popped. It's essentially 2 1 versus 2s. That is one going the way of DRG, and the other one needs to find a similar conclusion.
Surely this is undoable, right? Autumn has got the clutch gene in him. But this is way too far gone, and they've both evacuated the site already. It's a big scramble here towards A. Autumn manages to bring a rifle away, but it's DRG to actually walk away with that round win.
I believe that is now double points for DRG. A complete switch around in terms of how you play 2 separate maps, how you play Haven. Very much FPX, very much the explanation coming from them. A full shooterage on how to play it, but this time DRG really showing how you play the positionings, and FPX showing how you can really almost claw it back, but not just quite, as DRG with their 10th round going into 17, looking so confident on Ascent.
Don't have to run it back, right? For a potential retake, you used it in the previous, in a very unlikely situation, but
逝者才配
what's
生
done is done.
存。
Gotta
继续救回。
handle things with what you have right now. Live just gonna dash straight in with the op in hand. What is this? Still gets the kill onto Spirit. And the flood retake comes through. Yosemite now around the boxes, but Flexion's gonna blindside him. 3 versus 4 for FPX in this retake setup. They've got a flank potential from Aquaman down towards Market as well. FPX don't have a single player from there, so they're not gonna be aware of his position. But still, how does Berlin hit that kind of a shot? Paranoia gets sent through, but up close and personal, Flexin will trade him back. 2 versus 3 now. The wall to isolate some of these angles, but it's the smoke from the Clove post-mortem to lock them out of this side. Flexin teleported up towards the catwalk, up towards the lane. And it's just gotta be a safe call for FPX. No chance in this one. DRG up to 11.
Oh. Depending, it could be up to 11 with a decent bit of bonus, or the smoke comes through. Autumn has been red. Oh my days,
What?
the positioning. Flexen plays that to perfection. He knows exactly where he needs to put that smoke. He knows exactly where to get the
crazy.
pre-fire. That's honestly, yeah, for how like unimportant that interaction actually was, that was cool as hell.
The way the smoke would landed exactly where he was holding as well. Man.
That's professional. That's professional for you. That is professional, and Flexen certainly is.
All right, fair enough. 11 on the board for DRG. FPX taking the timeout. Lagia hot on the mic. Really wants to get across some of these ideas to his team, because right now they are a fish out of water. This second half on this defensive side of Ascent has just looked absolutely horrendous for FPX.
Yeah, DRG just really showing how to play these angles, how to, you know, shut down both an attack on their side and how to attack, you know, pretty damn flawlessly. It's really got to be said that Waylay is... I think very much like anytime we've seen Life pop out with the Waylay, we've seen why it is so difficult to make her work. The dashes are cool, but they do keep you immobile for quite some time. They do keep you from being able to pull out your gun for a decent amount of time. So it is a lot more hit and miss than something like Jet, than something like even Chamber, Yoru. Any other teleport agent really can be pretty consistent. And DRG are making a great case for why you don't really want to mess around with the composition style too much. The agents are a bit more flexible than maybe some people would give them credit to, but you still go so smooth with this comp.
Interesting setup this time. You've got Life in a really deep committed angle, corner of A Heaven. Killjoy down anchoring around the tall box of the site. You've got Omen assists from Tree just to ensure that there's no split coming.
直面统治吧！
They've got the right call. Life just gotta hold things down. No hits. The clone has to dash out of there. And Yosemite now being spotted out with the Prowler. Spirit gets a beautiful first kill. Berlin pops in through the smoke. Hunter's Tree now sent bolts across the map, but no connection, or at least no kill just yet. 4 versus 3 as DRG get that spike planted. Advantage for them.
团体已部署。
FPX, the op for this retake is less than ideal, especially on a Waylay. He used up most of her abilities. It's on to us, the Phoenix. Flash goes through, detects a couple of these players. Oh, but no shots to be connected just yet around the dice boxes. Still retaining presence. Ayang though, the double kill found. Up towards Heaven. Scan announces one of their positions. Spot out towards Hell. Both of these corners being marked for, but Vukashu with the double. Vukashu looking to strike fear in this map, make his presence known. Life, the up in hand, has no more time. And while he wins it out with the classic in that fight, he's got no time for this defuse. DRG, they get up to 12.
Heartbreaking for Life, nearly able to make it work, but Vukashu just very happy to play the long game, very understanding that all he needs to do is survive the encounter. He doesn't need or even hold out. He doesn't need to survive. He doesn't need to win. He just needs to buy some time, and that's exactly what he did. Phenomenal play from DRG, though, you know, working around Hunter's Fury being online, all of those scans being online, the map knowledge to, like, sit down at dice boxes, even with a sonar dart pinging you, is absolutely steadfast and is a testament to DRG's composure and communications in this map, especially compared to what we've seen on Haven.
That's beautiful trust in your teammates and the setup.
炮塔被摧毁。
Mukashu with the very important double kill there. Autumn now kind of whiffing that flash, doesn't get what he wants. DRG still playing it nice and passive. FPX pressures on them. Gotta get 6 rounds in a row and it's gotta start now. Looks will put up for the orb. Kind of bait out any piece of utility as possible. DRG happy to relinquish that control again. Explore the rest of the map.
At this point, DRG have shown FPX that they are happy to let FPX try with the first play. DRG are happy to adapt and happy to make it work. And if FPX don't want to make a play, DRG have plenty of their own that they can execute flawlessly, that they can make work. Again, the split. You've got Vukashu here very late towards this mid side, still very actually late towards this B link to see if anyone pushes through on that B side while the A hit has come through. The convergence comes through, doesn't find anyone. The divergent paths isn't enough. And all it does is slow DRG down for a moment. Meanwhile, Vukashu all the way towards this B side to try and get the control. But FPX have read it and they have a welcoming surprise.
A lot of time left. They've got 3 defenders here, but they don't have any utility. They just need to win out these gunfights. 5 seconds remaining. The reload has to come through. They can get shot out of the round just like that. Nick for the close. DRG even up the score and the series 1-1. They take their opponent's map pick this time. The fantastic showing on that attacking side of Ascent.
I mean, yeah, if you really want to show, like, if you want to talk about how much DRG had improved and adapted, you really don't need to say much more than 3 members are waiting on the site of B site for DRG. 3 members of FPX are sitting there waiting for them, and DRG are still the ones to walk away with it. So that really is all you need to say as we go through the highlights of a phenomenal map that could not have been more mirrored towards what we've seen back in Haven.
I mean, that once the half switched, it felt like the team switched for DRG. Looked completely rejuvenated. I don't know, maybe they swapped their setups a little bit, they changed their positionings on stage.
We've got
whatever
actual
it is.
Vukashu here now.
Yeah.
Actual Vukashu. You called for a replacement, Coldan, you get one.
Oh, thank you. No more lemons, only the juicy apples for Vukashu. And this was 7 rounds in a row, by the way, for DRG on that attacking side. Once this half switched. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. The kind of understanding of how to run that attacking side. And I think it's partially that, right? That great calling coming in from DRG, as well as maybe a little bit of weaknesses in terms of the double duelist compositions.
走吧走吧。小心中路压，小心中路压。OK OK。小心中路压，小心中路压。还要回来清一下，兄弟。要不要直面？A 路有一个好像。有技能烟吗，中路？有。OK。I can flash like 21. I flash now. Flash. 打 CT 吧，我打 CT， 打 CT。Careful mid flash, mid pick. Sour B, sour B. mark 一个。Flash now. 有野吗，尼克？有。等我一下行吗？好。开飞机了。开飞机，兄弟。我丢了。丢吧。来，对面问，一通控住了。我们先禁烟，到了，我可以开口了。哎，突然。光闪。壁咚顶的微累哦。我可以推黑。来准备。停。来黑了。你家有 CT。对面打不了 CT 了。单个。 还有2个 B， 还有2个 B， 你们还是可以加 B 兄弟，这2个没事的。OK， 就打 B 吧，你们别乱了。对，至少来了，阿克曼，一个 CT 一个对补枪，你可以拉花不行，我过不去，CT 一个，2个 CT， 2个 CT， 来CT， 2个 CT， 你快点成功了，左边跳上去了，哦，CT， 有时间，有踢。No!
I don't think anyone is too surprised. The man himself that has shown up time and time again and continues to show up for DRG when they need it most.
Yeah, Spirit was that was crazy stuff. 5 first bloods coming in from him, as well as like the only duelist basically for his team, right? He was the one tasked with those very difficult opening kills up against the double duelist composition, and still he's managed to pull off some miraculous stuff. 263 ACS, 18 and 10. Lovely stuff for the duelists of DRG, and that was one of the key factors why they were so strong on the attacking.
Yeah, they were just Spirit had everything. You only need your duelist really to gain you some space, but 263 ACS is basically a space and a kill per round. 19 rounds in the game, 18 kills on the scoreboard, at least one. And look at this difference. First bloods at 12 out of 13 rounds. And I will say from both teams though, the spikes are as a really cool stat to see.
I don't think I've ever seen like both teams have perfect like spike plant, post plant, like scores.
100% success ratio, man, for both sides.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it was pretty clear that both teams were getting a lot of those, a lot of rounds by spike diffusers. Quite a lot of times you could see both teams actually going for saves on their defensive side. So yeah, I guess trying to play that retake setup, but one of the teams was a little bit better in that.
Just a little bit. And speaking of retake setups, well, we're going to be retaking our break, ladies and gentlemen, and when we're back, the last map, it's the most important map for retakes and everything, probably the most volatile map in the game other than Corrode. It is Sunset for our last game in this series of best of 3, so please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to VCT China. This is DRG versus FPX. We're going the distance. It's map 3, it's gonna be Sunset, and I can't wait to see what we have in store.
Well, probably I would expect a double duelist from FPX, and we'll see if it works out or not. They ran the Wheelie Phoenix on Ascent and got pretty comfortably 13-6 because of it. So a little bit better than what FPX's 13-7 was. And again, those are opposing map picks.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see that double duelist setup again on a different map, but I do think Sunset is kind of that map where you could actually reasonably see a breach perhaps, but I don't think we would be seeing it on either of these squads. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, because I think the China's region essentially have a pretty different composition to a lot of other regions. So lovely to see that kind of diversity in terms of compositions, but I think Yoru might be that common factor at least.
Yoru, likely the common factor. We've been seeing a lot of Neon on the Sunsets. Even with Breach's nerf coming through, we've seen Sunset's probably still the most diverse in terms of the initiator picks. A lot of people are still actually enjoying running Gecko, just because the plant angles are pretty easy to get. Sightlines for Wingman. He also just is very flexible. The Gecko initiation is great, as you said. Breach for the consistent stun and flash, especially if you've got the backup of Neon or Yoru. Fade has always seen a little bit of love as well. Deadlock is another one, so there's plenty of flexibility for Sunset, which is why I always say is still the most volatile map in the game.
Yeah, I can understand what you mean by the volatility, but in terms of the agent comps that are being picked here, I think it's pretty standard for both of these squads, right? It's what they ran most recently. You got the Clove again on Aquaman, which is something that I'm not too I am not too, I want to say offended, but like I'm okay with it, right? Usually when I see Cloves, I'm like, it might not work out, you know, it's a little bit iffy, but we saw him, you know, with a decent amount of success on Ascent, so gonna be bringing it out yet again on Sunset.
So we've got like the double controller setup, and then obviously the characters are quite different. We're seeing like from the Sentinel side, Cypher's being picked. That's pretty standard for Sunset. He's just very strong. The initiators though, we've got Sova, we've got Fade, and there's one more that I'm missing. I'll get a look at. It's not Break,
KO, I think.
KO, thank you. So yeah, we get Sova, we've got KO, and we've got Fade. So there is quite a lot of additional
Sorry. I fed you fake news. No KO, it's just a Yoru.
It's just the Yoru. Oh, okay. Okay, got you. The fake news has been said. Oh my days, but the fake news was that the pistol round was going to go in DRG's favor, because to start with, that is 3 of the fastest kills I've ever seen. And the fight for the spike towards this B site, it's going to go the way of FPX, but DRG trying to fight off what they can from the most aggressive pistol round I think I've ever seen in professional Valorant.
That was one way to kick off the third map, and it seems like FPX might have dinner to attend to. They want to get things over fast.
They're hungry.
Yeah.
9 p.m. over there. That is nice. And you get to see like just the fights just being forced on FPX's terms in DRG. It was pretty close to a read. It was pretty close to a kind of comeback, but not going to be the case. And the defense are still very aggressive, but not quite as aggro from FPX.
Berlin in his at least what has popularized the 10 spot. Pretty cool. But again, DRG, see if they can find maybe a couple of alt orbs, get the spike time down perhaps. That would be, you know, a pretty solid win in this kind of an eco round. Again, they haven't really gotten too much access. The drone to spot out a little bit of information. Gonna regain all their forces, head towards the B side, just where Berlin is set up as well.
Getting the spot. Are we seeing it come to fruition? Everything is slow. The flash is perfect. Berlin swings off away as well. Gets the distraction. The paranoia comes through. The scans. Not going to be enough to save his life. Fittingly enough, though, it is that tag point from Flexen. And unfortunately for the members of DRG, you got onto site. And as quickly as you did, you are evicted by FPX.
All right. Got the side. You got the spike plan. Got a kill in the mix as well. Not the worst thing in the world. So I don't think FPX is gonna be, DRG are gonna be too disappointed with that one. But Berlin, a couple of nice frags, get that confidence flowing.
I think so. I think you're happy. You're happy as well that you don't sacrifice really any guns. Again, with DRG not having anyone, so actually opting for the only the Yoru on both sides here and the jet from FPX. There's no jet accordingly for DRG, so there's no capacity for cheating the economy. There's no way to bring yourself back fast with like a blade storm. You can try the dimensional drift into shorty combo, which we have seen work, but is far more awkward and has far more counterplay rather than just life updrafting into the heavens and slowly but surely carving you into the next round.
Carving you into the next round. I like that.
See if it happens yet again.
Now, taking the spot of his teammate. He saw how Berlin got those kills. Now he wants a bit of the action. Elevate that angle. He's the only player here on this B side though. He's got to be careful. Now his attention drawn both sides, but now marking down B main. Lovely double kill. The taps on the Guardian will find 2 headshots. Will thin out the numbers of DRG and FPX for a bonus round win, as Yosemite is going to be creeping down A main. He's got all the information that they're all not on towards this A side. Ayang, similar to his jet counterpart. Lovely headshot found. One by one, they're just walking into these fights. And FPX, it's the Guardian squad. They're all finding that success. It's just Flexen left alone around this corner. Unless he's got a 1v4 clutch better than Autumn's one on Haven, this round is cooked. Flash come through, gets blinded off. The double swing comes through and Berlin will close things out. FPX, the bonus round win.
Very clean, very disciplined, nearly something incredible. And as you said, the namesakes themselves, the guardians of this site, that first shot from life was absolutely phenomenal. And the positioning we have seen, Ayang is there, Autumn for the refrag. There's just so much that FPX seem to have down in this micro right now.
Low buy round from DRG. Got a couple of stingers into the mix. See if you want to go for something a little bit fast-paced. Scan come through. Autumn challenging around the corner. He spots him out, but it's the stinger, of course. Flexing to get that kill first. Yosemite there with the spam through his own utility. Allows him for the retreat back, but 70 HP. He's got to be careful with it. Eventually gets out of harm's way. Bit of a stall in the action yet again. The delay utility from the Cypher is good enough to keep DRG at bay for the time being.
Their elbow swing, the flash comes through, it's positioned, it's timed excellently. But the members of FPX also positioned excellently. It's down to this timing, it's down to this execute, the close smoke pops, and the frags initially going the way of DRG, exploding out towards that elbow side. The clone, Ayang doesn't fall for it and able to get a frag because of it as the spike goes down and the Sova drone enters towards the site. The positions get found out and the retake begins once again.
Shock dart spray to push him out of the corner. And Yosemite will easily collect. But even still, it's dangerous, it's contentious, and almost a success. But again, despite the damage, FPX getting another super nice round win for them.
It's so clean. Yosemite just showing how to play the Cypher rundown. Spirit has been showing how you aim a stinger. And the utility back up there, the shock darts, the positions and the angles, just all played to perfection. And FPX winning that bonus. You can see how hyped up they are. That's actually the additional on top of that kind of post-buy. And it looks like it's enough to force a timeout for the side of FPX. Or DRG, sorry.
Yeah. We're assuming it's DRG. Yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah. I would have been shocked if FPX in a 4-0 called a timeout. I would have respected it, but I would have been shocked.
DRG now, I mean, really haven't been finding a lot of success gaining ground, whether it's A main, whether it's E main. And every time they went for that B side execute, they were met with 2 players standing on top of the blue box.
Yep.
Cross market. So yeah, maybe discussions on how they want to counter that. Maybe a B split, you know, push them off, make him a little bit uncomfortable. Or you could, you know, fight for A main, push the defenders back, make them question whether they could be up close on A elbow, on A long, or, you know, throw a little bit of a fake. There's a lot of options that DRG actually have, in my opinion, for the next couple of rounds, but we'll see what they have in store for us.
They've got their ults coming online again. The frags haven't really been going their way. I mean, you've got 6-6. You've got 6-6, 3, and a 2. Meanwhile, the highest performance is Flex and an Akaman at 3 towards DRG. So even just like the initial frags, those kind of one-off frags that you get as, you know, a kind of consolation prize, DRG haven't even really been getting those. FPX's defense, their understanding of the map has been so pivotal, and DRG changing a little bit around at the very least, you know, opting more of a lean towards this mid and then the engage onto site, which we've only seen once before, and it seems that this time it's being done as a split, which I do like.
That is the double controller comp, right, on DRG. Yep. They can just re-smoke top of mid, you know, for basically more than half of the round. So exploiting that kind of ability in that composition, I think, would do them a boatload of favors. But this time around, looks like it might be a little bit of a split on the call. Or just to potentially activate any of the Cypher utility, but no, it gets shot out early. And look at Life, he's crept down towards A main. He's got the op in hand. It's just one wall away from finding a boatload of enemies. This time it's going to be a B split on the cards for DRG, something we haven't seen just yet.
Paranoia comes through towards the back of Boba as well. We hear the From the Shadows, we hear all the ultimates come through to try and gain all the space, and it is a master class of a convention going on towards Market as the frags start coming through. The swings from Market, the control all the way from Bukashi there is very much doing a great job of keeping FPX away as Bukashi is able to find himself one as the spike drops down as well. The neural theft is able to last long enough. Berlin managing to swing off the back of a Yosemite, the pings, but he can't quite find the shots yet as the spike still ticks down.
Life is coming in with the Blade Storm. They've waited for him. Now they converge in towards the side. Fukashu spot out towards the cubby, but he still can't find him just yet. The smoke fades now. Angles available for both of these squads. Fukashu with the triple, but his life down to 1 versus 1. No more knives. Flexin will punish. Massive whiff from the Jet will cost them a pivotal round.
The first one that DRG can put on the board, and to say they needed it was an understatement. That was a very, very scary round, and it was difficult to tell how it was going. The immediate executes we'll see as all the frags, all the trades go one way and then another, as evenly fought, I'd say, between both teams that we've seen all game, where the trades were fire, the free frags and the positions were very nice, and it seems that DRG were finally able to make it work.
I call it a little bit of an unlucky situation or unconventional spot. And Autumn with the op will easily collect onto Spirit. Yosemite, meanwhile, has gotten a kill onto Flexin, so they don't have the controller smokes available. At the very least, they've got Akaman's clove smokes. And off the neural theft, they just capitalize off of Yosemite's close range position. But here comes a Hunter screen now from Air Young. Noting that they were all in towards that B main spot. And now Life has rotated over. They don't know about the second op now in the server. One's on Autumn, one's on Life. Both of them finding success here in this round. Make that a double kill for Life. Just spotting out a sliver of a pixel, and he's still good enough to connect that frag.
We've heard about one op, yes. But what about second op? As the response from FPX there. Very much happy to introduce members of DRG to it. Vukashi trying his best to fight through main on his own. That shot from Life is a crispy angle, and it's not going to be enough. The dimensional drift, both ops still online. And if you look, the bank, the economic hole that DRG have fallen into is pretty brutal.
Yeah, looks like my bank account, you know, it's payday and then it's all gone, the Knicks. We'll see if Vukashi has got something to say in this one. He's got the rifle. He's the best performer so far in the server for DRG. And we'll see if Life has something to say about it. 2 players around this corner. He's marking both of their positions. Not a lot of utility to look around with. It's just a dry swing, and it's an easy one for Life to connect. He's still standing in for more. Still gets the second, and he's somehow still alive. Searching around the corner. Live. I don't know how you connect that shot. Dashes straight in towards Vukashu's position as he lays down the law. 4 bullets, 4 kills, and he's still alive, looking for the last.
Hear what this man has got going on. He can try.
They're giving it to him.
And whether FPX would give it to him or whether they just want the round to end, that is the choice here. The op has been swapped out for the 528 HP. He swings, and with the backup of his team breaking the horn, Life has no concerns. All smiles on his face, all smiles on the teammates' faces. The Blade Storm actually gotten due to that. These fancy footwork somehow keeping Life alive, forgetting how long Cloud Burst lasts, and then having to get that flick on deflection and the dash in just to show off 14 and 2 scoreline for Life. And you can even see in the background there, Legia is almost shaking his head.
Oh my god, he's 14 and 2, Dante.
Yeah.
What is this? What is this performance from Life? And he's not just the only one, the Autumn's looking for more. The dimensional drift will spot him out though, and he will be forced back to the safer angle. But still, what can Spirit do here? He's gotten out of it. Got access towards the side, but there's around the corner. There's so many players. Face full of opponents, I guess. A clone in the mix. Finds the first one around the corner. Backs a turn. It's a Yoru versus Yoru. The shotgun's not going to be good enough to connect onto that frag. Spirit alive with a double kill found. Picks up the op of his fallen enemies, but he can't do what Life has done. Berlin will keep him honest. 3 versus 3 now. But around the corner in the cubby is Nick. And well, Nick's the only one left standing, and Life will not miss another shot. 7-1 for FPX.
Oh my days, DRG are just not making this work. They're not being given any position. They're not given any opportunity to get anything started. FPX are just refusing to let them get away with this. Their defense is on point. Their positioning is on point. Autumn trying something there very cheekily, but look at that. Berlin gets the shot. It lets Life swing back through with the off. It sets him up. The pop-off is real. And to be honest, when you are 7-1 like FPX currently are, you deserve to pop off. Just don't let it get to your head.
They kind of have no answer for this double up, Dante. They have no answer for this.
No, they do not.
They don't have enough utility, or at least initiated utility to flush him back. You've only got a single fade. They've shown a little bit of presence down towards B. Now they're heading back towards A. Guess what? There's still an op here. Life has still gotten a lot of control. He's just down towards his A main position. He's gonna be marking it. It's again just onto Vukashu, the only rifle here.
And you can see the Prowler comes through, finds his position, finds his target. Life doesn't care. He gets it shot out for. Actually, he didn't. He just walked past it. He didn't care about the Prowler at all. He just walks past it and gets the kill onto Spirit. That is wild. We'll need to. Yeah, we need to check the replay on that. I can't believe that worked, but That's the frag you need if you're FPX, and Life already making it look so easy for FPX to steal this round.
Did Berlin break the Prowler? I don't know how the Prowler
I don't
disappeared
think
in
so.
there. Is it plot armor? Is it in the script?
It might be. It might be. 30 seconds left, and there's not much plot left.
Well, it's gotta be this plot of land here towards this A site. You've gotta try it at the very least. You have nothing else to lose. It's gonna come through, but of course, it's alive still here. Oh, and he's finding all the success. Every single kill. 7 seconds left. Walk into the arms of this demon in the server, or face your demise. Ayang will steal away the kill, but still, FPX are on an incredible streak.
All on the back of that double up. As you said, they were really struggling. Yeah, let's... Okay, right, okay,
Wow.
that was it. That makes more sense. The angle just didn't look right. I was so lost
like,
as to how that got shot. But Berlin, the masterclass of positioning that we've talked about before, it looks so easy. The smiles on the FPX squad, and it's forcing DRG to dig deep.
I mean, even back towards the round that Life had an ace, right? It's thanks to his teammates that actually helped him get the ace. In this round, it's Berlin with the most incredible assist I've ever seen. You know, breaking the Prowler. Life not concerned that the Prowler was ever gonna touch him. It felt like there was no world where Berlin wouldn't have broken that Prowler. And that's the trust between the teammates. Swinging out wide, just the Prowler hits him, gets the kill, and then still wreaks havoc, anchoring the site. And FPX, they're playing it to perfection, and all the small micro adjustments, all the small micro plays, they are just hitting every single note.
They really are. It's just clear sheen perfection right now. Anytime DRG are trying anything, FPX has got the positional advantage, the map advantage, the understanding. Anything they could possibly need, they've got ready to go. And DRG just don't seem to have anything to adapt towards. They don't seem to be in a position where they can, you know, consult the playbook and come up with a different idea or a different strategy. They've got the guns this time, but as you can see with the uneven buys due to Vukashu's hero rifle, they're not going to be up to their full strength. And in theory, all you need is for the trades to go one way so that at the very least Vukashu can at some point get that gun. But the way this has been going, FPX don't look to ever give the opportunity.
In my opinion, at this point in time, you need something of a pace change. I mean, you need to overwhelm one of these ops, because you let them cock back their barrel and, you know, one by one swing into them, they will have a field day. You need to overwhelm them, maybe throw in a flash together with the clone, you gate crash in, you overwhelm them with the Prowler, the Horn. Too many things for the op to handle, but this slow pace play style is just leaning into this ops, double ops setup so brilliantly. Prowler enough shuts him back, access in towards the side at the very least. Tripwires around though, but still not a kill to be found just yet. I say that just as Yosemite's second trip hits onto Nick, and here comes the flood retake. If it's not the ops, it's the anchors on towards the site. They've lost the spike. It's in the mix. They know that there's one more player within the site, but there's no way for them to get that spike plant just yet. They have to retrieve it. The swing comes through, and a couple of kills fall in the favor of DRG. But Berlin's there to shut it down right at the final hurdle. Life not even required in this round. FPX is messy, but still they're on that streak.
They're happy enough as long as that round advantage keeps climbing. I don't think at this point FPX are quite concerned, and that is the power of a Cypher. That is the power of the timing of the flashes. Vukashu's mechanics may or may not still be the strongest on the server right now, but the backup isn't quite the same. The support isn't quite the same. The structure isn't quite the same for DRG, and as you've said it a few times now, Colden, you're looking at a double operator setup with Life and Autumn both having a very solid run of it. Of course, Life having a far better one, and they're making it feel like DRG don't have two controllers.
Alright, a chance here. A site that doesn't have a single operator. Is this the time for DRG to strike? Yosemite has something to say about this. He's getting real antsy, just diving straight in with a shorty. That's ambitious. But at this kind of a scoreline, I don't blame him. Waiting for now the reinforcements of life to come in. It's a 5 versus 5 in the post-plant positions. How do they deal with this one? Dimensional drift to find out all these spots. Oh, but Nick, what a flick! Catches on Autumn jumping out of his dimensional drift. But Berlin out of the smoke with the shorty. But Nick will just hold his ground with a triple kill around the pillar. It's a quad kill found from the Fate to secure them their second round win.
There's a lot more you need to do, but there's a start. That flick from Nick already been said, and that angle as well, just played to perfection. That position was awesome as everyone from FPX just happened to swing into it. A 9-2. This is what I was saying about potential volatility. We see the usual setups. We see a lot of ultimates online for DRG to hopefully make this a 9-3. They need this round. They need to activate the 9-3 curse, because 10-2 is not something you want to be on Sunset.
And that round, I mean, that's a step in the right direction. Albeit you only have one more step in this half, but you gotta give it all you got. Full execute in towards the speed side yet again. And yet again, we find ourselves in a 5 versus 5 in the post-plant. FPX you have for this one. You only really have that neural theft. That's not great for this retake. DRG looking to find that third.
A lot of information can be gained from that neural theft, but it comes down to if anyone actually manages to succumb. So far, no one just yet. Flex and just standing outside the smoke, but gets silver tagged, gets the dart, gets everything, has to try and fight his way out. Meanwhile, Nick trying his best to hold the angle. The trade shows come through. Kakashi gets a second and the neural theft. But the frags, Berlin and Ayang just swing out of market, no concern. And there's one last remaining member. The vulnerable comes through, not dead yet, may as well. But the spike is getting diffused regardless.
Oh.
And Ayang takes both fights against that Clove and Akaman.
Oh, ankles broken, baited out with the knife in hand. But it's the one with the knife to pull out the weapon first. This round, it looked promising, right? DRG, post-plant positions, Vukashu finding those frags, but then, you know, Ayang, Berlin, all coming in. The second layer of the retake to just shut down anything that DRG wanted to do in this one. So it's double digits for this defensive side. It's lovely stuff.
Double digits for FPX. No, this map is volatile. This map is volatile. I genuinely believe there is a world where DRG now swap places to the to their now defense of their own. We'll see if it works out, and we'll see who the crowd are currently favoring, because so far FPX look to be getting a lot of love.
Oh yeah, if I'm in the crowd, I'm voting for FPX as well, even if I'm a DRG. Unless I'm a super hardcore fan. I mean, this map is just so one-sided so far. FPX is by far and away, you know, the better team so far.
The smiles from both of these teams, FPX and DRG in particular, always seem to just be so happy. No matter how the scoreline's looking, no matter how the games are going, they just always seem to be all smiles. So it is lovely to see. Especially, I must say, it does seem DRG a bit more than FPX, but both teams more than happy to try and take each other to the absolute limit. And so far, FPX are making DRG sweat.
Some, you know, viewers in chat might be sweating as well. I think we have the predictions, right? We have 43% thinking that FPX is gonna win, 57 think DRX will win. So the two DRX fans in chat, I hope you guys are doing well, because your team's gonna have to come up with something crazy if you want to win your points here.
Oh, it's a possible comeback, but yeah, I would say goodbye to those points. It all comes down to this pistol round. If FPX can just keep this control, keep this going. It could be an early end for DRG. It's all down. The smoke dissipates, the setup is there, and the frags are going each and every way. Yosemite is able to back it up at least. Vukashu, though, with the rotate towards mid, shuts that down. The other member, Nakaman, already set up, good to go. There is no vulnerable, there is no Cypher setup, and there is no spike down just yet.
Ooh, now they can play around with it, right? They've got a minute left. FPX can make DRG's life a living nightmare. They can just explore the rest of the map. Now DRG questioning things. You know, are they committed towards A? We've seen a smoke. But no commitment off the back of it. At the very least, right? DRG has utility on towards that B side. The Cypher Cam is fantastic to allow them to have both of the players on this defensive side on A. Just so that they can play together. But FPX on an interesting positioning. Right now they're coming up towards top of mid. They want to flank the players here towards his A side. But Vukashu, ooh, activated the cam. But now he notes both of them coming around this corner. Vukashu! Beautiful shots. Will lay waste to the last two players. Assisted from his teammate. And DRG, well, they hold on for a little bit longer.
That's a start. The pistol rounds, I believe, we're looking about 49 to 48% each way, so it's something at the very least that will help them work a little bit further, but it wasn't easily gained. It was on the back of Vukashu and Ackerman. Everything else was a little bit dicier, a little bit shakier, but as they've said, the first pistol round gained for DRG, or the second one of the set, I should say, 49% win rate, and they need to capitalize on this momentum.
Okay, fast split on the cards for FPX. Couple of players right around the corner of market. They've got a tripwire there, but they've also got 3 defenders from DRG here bolstering up this defensive side. And hello, flexing. Easiest kill of his life. They trickle in one by one. Drop the spike at the feet of the defenders. Flexing with the triple and Autumn. Well, a bit detached from the action. FPX classic in hand, but a bullet to the brain. Ackerman will shut him down, and DRG, solid second round.
A solid second round, and they need to keep this moving. This Spirit really has been showing how to aim with the Stinger in a whole different way. It has been concerning to see him just put that to use the way he has, and at the very least, Ackerman then, with a bit more standard issue firing from the Guardian, but this is it. We see the 3 Guardians and a Stinger, flexing the man with the Stinger, Vukashu with the one with the Outlaw, and the full buy, other than 1 Guardian from Autumn here right now. This is it. Either FPX's road to victory or DRG's clamber back to try and take this comeback.
I wouldn't mind if DRG tries something a little bit more gambly, then opt for maybe a bit of a retake setup here. FPX though, well, they're not gonna mess around too much, right, in this round. Just a little bit of presence shown towards mid, but a good reclear from DRG early on. And here comes the stack in towards this east side. 3 players now coming in for assistance. Damage done to the Jet. Life is barely breathing, but still frags are found. 3 frags going back and forth. Still results in a 3 versus 3. Low HP on life though. Yosemite wants to take matters into his own hands. An awkward peek will result in his demise. Nick will happily collect, and now life barely alive. Hoping he could potentially find 1 kill before he falls, but no. Nick, lovely wallbang shot will keep his team in it. 3 players of DRG still standing. No Ayang's positioning. Spam fire is all he's gonna have, all he's gonna hope for. The reload needed, the spade of the smoke in his face. And DRG, lovely rotate in towards this B site, and a bonus round win off the back of it.
3 rounds back to back. I've said before about how volatile Sunset can be. The attack side can be such a gamble, as you can see. It is so difficult. It is such a catastrophe waiting to happen to try and force this space back. And unfortunately, DRG just not able to make it happen. FPX keeping it under control, under wraps. And because of that, DRG not able to quite deal with it at the start, but this is an entirely different DRG we're seeing.
Early mid control from FPX is lovely to have. Now it puts so much pressure on Flexin. He's forced to fall off because there's so many angles to worry about. Trick gets broken. Small little protocols here. Life though.
Okay.
Oh, thankfully so. Dashes out of harm's way. Forces the paranoia to be answered back. And it pushes the defenders back as well. But FPX, they're getting inquisitive. They know that the defense here was recently kept honest. And attested yet again.
Elbow getting no love at the moment. Everyone just more than happy from DRG just to say that if the fight's happening, it's a retake and we're dealing with it appropriately, and that's a hell of a way to start. Spirit shutting it down before it can ever really begin. A lot of information, not enough to force a full rotate off of DRG, which may be a mistake, but looking at the guns, looking at the setup, unless Yang tries to do something clutch with the Hunter's Fury, this is still all the way of DRG, and it only needs to be one. It's Nick. Yosemite shuts him down, but with the health damage done with 20 seconds left, he has done more than enough.
Yeah, Yosemite gonna get shut at the door by Vukashu, and well, one round at a time, the difference between these two squads have really caught up in the last couple of rounds. A great anchor coming in from Spirit. I don't know how he managed to find a second one, but Nick, I mean, he has been the saving grace for DRG in this past couple of rounds on this defensive side. So lovely to see that he's back, you know, in the server and really fragging out. 4 rounds in a row from DRG, and 4 rounds away from evening up the scoreline against FPX. Win this one, you have a very good conversation. The op in the hands of life now. Unconventional choice, but it's anyone to do it, it's gotta be him.
14-2. May I remind you, was the scoreline at one point with that operator. So as you said, if there's one man that can do it, hold on, it is gonna be him. Bottom swinging through as well. Has to deal with the Prowler, shoots it down. Doesn't give the operator away just yet, but there is more of a setup towards this A side mid. Being given up fairly freely at the moment. There is that fight with Flex and Berlin, but there's not going to be any engagement there, and it's just a slow pivotal cross up, wait for anyone to overcommit or make a mistake, and it might be all on the information that Yosemite can gather on this lurk to be.
It is technically the right call. It's the site that has one less player. The Omen and the Cypher, those two are the best agents to anchor down this B site. And with all the Cypher utilities still in abundance, no breakage of it just yet, give them a bit of a false sense of security. But Nick's on his way over. They've got 25 seconds to make this work, Dante. They've got to get their boots on. The smoke now finally comes in. Flexing, it's flashed off. The teleport comes through. Hunter's very invested. Oh, but DRG, it's all of them in the kill feed. 13 seconds left. They need to get the spike planted now. Life. Punches in that spike in towards the site. 3 versus 2. But Nick's gonna mark down his angle out of the dimensional drift. But Aquaman's there for the ever so needed trade. And DRG, round by round, this is now 5 in a row.
Very clean. It's volatile. It's sunset. It can change in a heartbeat. The ultimate usage as well from DRG. Like, we'll get to really see that. The Nightfall here is enough. Yeah, the Hunter's Fury is a bit of a nightmare to contend. But when you've got all the shots going your way, all the setups, yes, Yang can get 2. But this setup from Ackman here to finally seal the deal. That was quite a bit invested by both teams, I gotta say. But happy enough for DRG to walk away with the win, and the economy, as you can see, not doing too peak, will be saved by that Blade Storm.
Alright, fast-paced round. Boys, okay, with a bit of a flash in his face, and Aquaman will shut down the spearhead of this attacking side. No Blade Storm to work around with, no space. And now your flank has been compromised. Flexin is just gonna make his presence known, lobs in a paranoia, and then dips out. Just gonna cause a lot of confusion in the hits of FPX. They're forced to re-clear all of this. Meanwhile, the Neurothep will reveal their rotation paths. Vukashu now top of mid, marks it down together with Flexin. It's a firing squad from long range. There's nothing that FPX can do with the last two remaining players. Oh, but Autumn picks up a weapon. It's a boatload of damage, and actually, the spike gets planted in the meanwhile.
能器已部署，
What looked to be impossible was Autumn deciding, okay, this is ends and this ends now. It's 2 frags. So pivotal. You hear them from the shadows to make DRG panic a little bit, to make them a little bit concerned. There's still the dimensional drift as well. But Autumn just trying to get behind the team members of DRG. He doesn't want to pop the ultimate. He's got the information. Berlin just needs to kill some time. He finds one. The angle from Berlin is perfect. Autumn was 1 HP. He was at 27 before under 26. The dimensional drift. All the information required. The post plant cannot be won in a scenario like that. Beautiful, beautifully done.
Ah, there was 2v5. There was a 2 versus 5. Autumn picks up a Phantom.
我看有一个
I mean, this is how it started. That was basically all their hopes stolen out of the round. Mid was compromised, picks up a Phantom, lays waste to 2 of the players, backstabs them, survives on 1 HP. Berlin with the up down towards main. Information the Spirit was sticking. And they don't miss a single shot. That is FPX stealing it around right under DRG's noses.
And that's the thing with that. DRG don't really have the economy to do it much more. They've got this round, and if they don't win it, they go to overtime. They go to overtime match point, and they do that on the not strongest of buys. They try an aggressive defense to get a little info on FPX. The only thing they find is that Autumn is no longer towards that A site that they know of.
And Autumn saw a lot of presence from the defense towards A. What's the call? Still hoping that life finds an over-eager defender. A pick, perhaps.
躲不掉。
Nick gonna throw this fade eye in. Doesn't detect anything. Notes that there's at least one there. But FPX might be in for crossfire setup. The paranoia hits multiple ones of them. And DRG just feasts upon blind enemies. All the kills just flow in their favor. And despite FPX's efforts in the round prior, the 2v5, now 1v5 for Yosemite, and he has nothing to say. 30 seconds, you gotta save.
30 seconds, no spike, nothing. But Spirits has the number. Yosemite is faster. At the very least, gets that consolation. You can see all members of DRG just try to leave it. One member in Ackerman just making sure for the last 5 seconds there is nothing that can be stolen. No cheeky plays. No attempted overcommit from Yosemite to try and find something. Because if Ackerman gets it, they have the not dead yet good to go. They will regardless next round. Wow,
what a setup. I mean, the paranoia hit at least 3 of them. Couldn't see a damn thing. Look at this, I'm flexing.
投放烟幕，
Lovely stuff. Vukashu blinded, but still gets the kills, but it's all the players from top of mid to actually collect those frags. And it's a lovely little on-the-fly setup. It forces the timeout from FPX.
they have been relatively, you know, safe and cautious with using them. Maybe a bit too much. They let a lot of rounds come back from DRG without deciding to pop this time out. But better late than never. And at this moment, you know, with FPX, it's clear that if the rounds are going long enough, they will eventually take it out of sheer attrition and someone like Autumn just doing a completely clutch tier play. So the longer this map goes, I'm feeling the better it is for FPX.
This timeout has really got to alert FPX of the tendencies of DRG. Time and time again, they've been caught off guard. The defense setups have just been so stalwart. And it's not anything cheesy like a double up setup, right? It's just really solid teamwork, team play off of each other's utilities and positioning. And small little trap setups as we saw in the round previous.
I do like that because it is a very, very valid point that the double op setup was not something though. Yeah, on Ascent, DRG just they didn't really, you know, seem to be able to handle it at all. Or sorry, FPX didn't really seem to be able to handle it. This time though, FPX are looking a bit more solid. They don't have to worry about that double up setup as much from DRG. The economy isn't quite there to make it work, so you can just survive these attacks. You can get yourself on the site, which looks to be the attempt that Life and Co are doing, as all the cages and such fall up, but the first person to actually fall is Autumn. Typically so is the retake, already beginning the shorty. Good for one, being immediately reintroduced back, and 3 versus 2. Last members known. No calls, but Guardian finds its mark a little bit. Ackerman still not dead yet. The dash from Life to try and make anything happen, but no. Nick shuts him down and puts us on to the 20th round.
What a insane dash that Life tried to do to break the ankles of Nick. But he's not gonna shake, you know. Nick has been one of the most reliable players in the server. And again, Flexin playing up on towards the 10th position. It's a crazy trade of frags on both sides here, despite FPX being on a lower buy and made things interesting.
I was able to make things interesting, but as you can see, FPX don't really want to make this interesting. They want to end this. They need to end this now, as I said. If DRG, yes, FPX can maybe hold out in the long run if the OT happens, but if DRG are able to get this round, we may see them do a phenomenal comeback. It would have to be said as the spray control towards the smokes, towards the mid, doesn't find anyone. In his next positioning here, he gives up a lot more life than Life did. Difficult sentence to say fast, but managed to in the end, and instead it's Life that takes it from Ackerman. Autumn holds his ground, finding 2 more, and what was meant to be DRG's collapsing towards mid, I was going to say may actually still be continuing in the form of Bukashu, and Flex and trying with a hero paranoia. Very misguided, but when your team are falling around you, you have to try and make anything work.
What a call from FPX. They go top of mid, they push top of mid, the first time that they have ever done so. They come up on top with a triple kill, spam through the smoke from Life. Autumn's there for the next 2. Vukashu gave it a good shout. I mean, double kill from him, but a bit too tall of an ask. And FPX finding the momentum, getting that momentum on their side. One more round is all that's required for them to win out this series here. A tough one. Especially in this attempt to come back from DRG, the flash re-clear of the smoke in. And I want to go fast into this one, activation of the dash. Flex in, makes the judge know, but the dash has gone through. Where have they gone? Around the corner. Flex is still alive, the judge, the best weapon for the job. But Aang says otherwise. Berlin now teleports into the spawn with the judge. Jumping down though, Vukashu is still able to find a kill, drops the spike. Ayang now required, but Vukashu with just 10 HP to boot lands a headshot and keeps DRG back in it.
The single clutchest man alive. Ackerman with the backup is timed perfectly. The amount of headache that was caused by Flexen and this judge eventually gets dealt with, but look what he's doing. Berlin having to match up, and then Ackerman with the super delay. The super late flank is perfectly timed to save Vukashu, to save this game, and it's not over just yet.
Vukashu's 23 and 16. It's taken 3 maps for him to come alive, but he's come in for that, heroic plays when DRG need him the most. On this attempted comeback, 2 rounds away from overtime, and Ackerman, what is that? The 6th sense, the awareness to just spam the smoke, and it's a double opening kill for DRG, almost instantly shutting down this round already.
Very difficult if you're FPX to find a gap in this Autumn with less than 50% HP. There's no dimensional drift. There is the Hunter's Fury if Ayang wants to go a bit clutch. There is the Neural Theft if the timing from Yosemite here is absolutely perfect, but there's still quite a lot to do. Meanwhile, the timing of Vukashu just swings out long. All this timing.
Oh, what? Vukashu! That wide clear actually gonna catch that little lurking Yosemite. bit of a pull of rotations, but
剩
it's
余
gonna
30
clear
秒，
out towards elbow. Ackerman still marking that
剩
spot,
1人，
and he will not falter. Ayang now last man standing. He's got a phantom in his hands. He's got 4 players to final with just about 15 seconds left. Yeah, he's got a bit of utility, but the spike has to go down, and DRG, they still
剩余
litter
10
this
秒。
site. Ayang just might save in the most unconventional spots. Right around the corners and his enemy.
Three. Oh, the patience
gets
from
it.
a young.
We've got all
Patience.
the way, Dantes. It's 24 rounds required. It was 10-2 at the half.
It's a volatile. It's a volatile map. I did say it,
That's
确认消灭子弹，
and yeah, I mean,
Volatile
it's down to
Dantes.
that.
还剩1名敌人，
Down to just those frags. It's down to spraying through random smokes. It's down to Yang getting that, like, you know, that pick is big. It does create eco disadvantage. It does create enough pain that FPX finally opting for the timeout there. It was going to be a bit of a curious question to see if they ever opted with it at all, but finally, maybe too little too late, but as I said, it's better than no time at all.
A lot of discussions to be had here for FPX. I don't think the amount of time that they have is going to be enough. They've got the whole half to think about what they needed to do to get 3 rounds. 3 rounds is all they required on this second half. They've managed 2. They need 1 more. Simple math, really.
Yeah, I mean, true. I can't debate with that. In theory, all they need is that last one, and this is the volatility of Sunset. It is such a difficult map. It can go so one-sided for both teams that I do love it as a showdown map. Like, you couldn't have asked. This exact setup, I believe, happened the last time I cast it. I forget between the teams, but it was first map, opponent's pick goes the other way. Second map, opposition's pick goes your way, and then the third map is close. And now, with 1 more round to get us to overtime, all these ults, use them or lose them.
Oh, Hunter Street now coming through. Gets a couple of tags.
爆能
But
击
where
破
has
在
he
壁
gone in
上
the smoke and mirrors the trade of frags on either side? Autumn now tasked with the most impossible thing. Spirit's there. Ayang with the trade. Life around this corner detects the last 2 players. And just like that, Dante, the final round of regulation, FPX come alive. They lock in for a full B-side execute. They steal away the map 3. No comebacks for DRG. FPX 2-1.
FPX are making it work. It was so damn close, but the positioning there, just that initial extra little step to collapse onto the site was just played flawlessly. And it seemed very much that DRG were happy to, you know, give up that space on the defending side, and FPX were happy to capitalize. As you said, they only needed 1, and that is exactly what they took.
Wow, I mean, FPX, doing it for the viewers, giving us an amazing showing on that final map. Albeit, individual showing, teamwork showing on that second half. Let's just say it's for entertainment, and we were definitely entertained.
Legia won't be, but thankfully he can at least join the succession of the team. It was a lot closer than I'm sure he was hoping it would be, but still been done. And with that, FPX have gotten themselves a confirmed spot for playoffs. Congratulations to them.
Well deserved, well deserved. I mean, to be fair, if their second half strats were a little bit more polished, I think we might have had a very different storyline. But right here, I mean, I think it perfectly describes this map so far. It was just a full-on brawl and trading frags back and forth. Eventually, the tenacity from FPX came out clutch. But yeah, it was 2 really blown out halves from both of these squads. But still, a really, really cool series for, this derby between these 2 teams.
You can tell the kind of the defense and the attack. You can tell the halves are definitely going to get worked on a little bit. You know, 10-2 ending at 13-11 is not something FPX ever really want. Of course, they still pick it up, but to give DRG that position, that time, that space, even with this ace, DRG were still nearly able to make it all worthless.
Yeah, we might have had a very different story, you know, going to overtime and then Vukashu, you know, with an ace clutch, you know, we never know. Sorry, I'm just manifesting.
I can see it. I can absolutely see it manifesting. And this is the thing. Now the highlights are just going to all be DRG's comeback to that 13th round, or to that, I guess, 24th round. It's going to be all just DRG from now.
Imagine if that 2v5, the incredible round didn't happen. Again, we could have a very different story.
Could have been. Like, that's the thing, is as we've seen there, like Vukashu getting his 2Ks, getting the 3Ks and such, it always just comes down to one player as we get into the comms to hear how it went down on that last round.
Play B main. Play only one Paulo now. No recall, no one.
这样的话没人看中路，我这
中路能看，没事。
能过吗？
过不了。
啊，没有晕了。I think peeking B. Dogging B. Amigo. This makes me.
他没钱，五叉树只能会
I
打
will
100
just smoke
给。
them. You can watch the market and we watch the B man.
中 A 小爷，
还有你看换位置。
A 小标了。
没事，他们要打 A。
OK A 小弯位。
A 小
小弯位在飞。好了一边。
开心，跑。
全是 A 小，全是 A 小。Let him ace. Spotting guys, spotting for life. Spotting for life. Maybe here.
Let's go. Don't care.
That's spotting.
It's okay. I don't need that.
Nice, get nice for.
I'm 1 HP, by the way.
Tommy, life. Get a ace.
I'm coming.
I'm flashing for us. Just come.
拿枪。跟他跳。Stand up. 3个。
Stand up. I think there's only one person you stand up in the presence to, and that is Yang.
Oh, honestly, I think you could give that the MVP to a couple of players, but Yang was like that. Similar to Nick on the other side of the server,
Yeah.
he was that reliable second guy to go in to do the damage. His recon bolts actually got a lot of information on quite a bit of those engagement situations. And taking a look at the entire scoreboard, Vukashu on the other side, 296 ACS, top of the server, 24 and 18, but still not enough to pull his team over the line. FPX just had the better squad at the end of the day. And yeah, that 10-2 lead was just too much. One round too much for DRG to handle.
I said 9-3 would have been the difference, but unfortunately, it said 9-3 could have been the difference, and honestly, it may have been. And unfortunately, though, it will not. Congratulations, though, massively big work from FPX. Not only to get this win, but of course to then actually get themselves on to the playoff side as well, to get their positions confirmed. And if anything, just unfortunately, it seems that DRG, we've been mentioning this a fair bit, if Spirit doesn't pop off, or if Nick's just not having the best game, you can really see how quickly DRG can struggle.
Yeah, Spirit had a couple of nice rounds, but I don't think it was enough in terms of... Yeah, honestly, it's Spirit, a little bit of a quieter showing, as you mentioned. But yeah, the first kill was actually favoring DRG. Got a clutch in the hands of FPX, 50s, 1 to each. And actually, the post plan's not too great for both of these squads as well.
A 25% success rate for FPX and a 33% rate actually from DRG. So DRG were better in the post-plant scenarios. It's just they didn't get them quite as much. And the way it goes, you could not really 13-7, 13-6, and then 13-11 for FPX. So you can't really have more of a storyline than that in terms of just... If you're on DRG's pick, you win. If you're on FPX's pick, you win. And then if you're down to the middle, then it gets a bit close.
Yeah, well, regardless of how the cookie crumbles, it was a tasty cookie. I enjoyed
Oh,
all
yes.
3 maps. 100%. So yeah, FPX, I think this does so well, right? They're 3-0 right now in their groups. They go in towards the playoffs. They have a good chance of, having a nice run in towards, maybe the top 2, qualify for champions, and then we could have, another incredible storyline. Chinese team, making that run. We've seen FPX in the international stage before, but haven't seen them as of late, so would love to see them back again.
I think Wolves has shown the teams that any of them can do it. And Wolves has shown the teams as well that it's so possible for them. And even then, when teams are now beating Wolves, it's giving them that confidence that, okay, they're the ones to do the run this time. They're the ones that are going to really build up the momentum and get themselves towards the finish line. So Wolves have done quite a lot for every team here. And just as we speak of that, we should be jumping to the interview with the players in just a moment. But just before we do, any kind of things to say, just before we do cut to that, Kuldan?
I'd like to shout out Project Horizon, because they're the ones that made all this possible. I guess okay, interview time. Let's see. Oh, it's Autumn.
Hello, Autumn. Maybe say hi to all the audience first.
Hello everyone, 大家好.
Congratulations! I mean, what a game today, right?
Yeah.
That was crazy. 那首先呢，想要来聊一聊图一啊影视修所，其实两队都是做出了辩证。其实之前在这张图上，可能在面对到第2季的时候都是惜败了嘛，但是今天让我们看到了辩证的成效。和之前相比的话，在哪些方面是做得更好了，能够帮助他们赢下对手的选图的 ？Today on map 1, both teams changed comps, and actually you guys lost to DRG twice on this map before, but today be able to manage to win their map pick. So tell us, what did you do better than before to secure this win?
Yep, so I think definitely we play them a lot on Haven, so we know how they play, which helps us a lot, but I think the new composition is really strong for us, like Yosemite on Vice, me on Viper, Berlin on Smokes, and yeah, I think just the composition fit us way better than before.
那其实，在这张图上，我们跟他们也打了很多次嘛，所以我们是非常了解他们的。而且我们现在的新阵容，包括像 Yosemite 他在维斯和 Viper 在蝰蛇上面，也包括说像柏林打的烟卫这样的阵容，其实都对于我们来说打出的效果是更好了。以及呢，还想要恭喜他们，想要恭喜我们的 Autumn 拿到了图一的 MVP 嘛，那个1v4的残局真的是太帅了，也是帮助队伍能够拿下了那张图的盘点。想要知道在那种看似是几乎不可能的残局之下，他当时的想法是怎样的呢 ？And huge congrats MVP of F1 and also that insane 1v4 we have to talk about it. It looks like an impossible clutch to be honest. So tell us what was on your mind. How could you do that?
Yeah, I was just looking for chances in the round, like trying to get as much damage as I could and look for 1v1s. And yeah, they just gave me 1v1, 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 1v1. So yeah.
You just got the chance.
Yeah, just got a
and
chance.
finally work out.
Yeah.
That was dope. 那其实也想说一下，他其实在那个残局里面想要不断的去找机会，把他们去拆分成1打1、1打1、1打1、1打1这样去打。那最终他也是找到了机会，而且呢，今天赢下了这一场比赛，他们也是顺利的能够进入到季后赛，队伍也是肉眼可见的变得越来越棒，越来越强了。想要知道后续他们的目标又是什么呢？那么 with today's win, you guys be able to lock in the playoffs. And also the team is clearly looking stronger and stronger, better and better. So tell us your goals heading to next stage.
Nothing but top 2. We need to go to champions. Need to see FunPlus at Paris.
除了进入到前2之外，没有其他的了。我们想要进入到冠军赛，想要让大家在巴黎能够见到我们的 FunPlus， 想要跟 FunPlus 在巴黎见。Okay, hope your goals could finally come true. Congratulations again. 那以上呢就是今天全部的采访内容了，让我们把时间交还给解说席。
Shout out to Fun Paris X, I guess. If that's the big takeaway from it.
Yeah, I would love it. if they turned up to Paris, I think it's about time that we have FPX back again at the international stage. But what we will be back tomorrow is more Project Horizon action, and I have to shout them out, right? They are the ones behind the scenes actually making all this happen. So shout out to everyone who's made Project Horizon possible. The unofficial English cast for VCT China. So our community, organization, broadcast thing. But yeah, love to see it. Love to be here, and it's been a pleasure, Dante. It's been lovely casting.
It's been an absolute pleasure as well, my man. A really solid game for us to get, and that is not the end. That is absolutely not the end of solid gaming. So we only had one best of 3 today, so that's why we did start a little bit late. For anyone that is wondering, tomorrow though we will have our standard 2 best of 3s. So Nova Esports to start with versus All Gamers, and then Tyloo versus EDG. Of course, there will be the predictions and such up during then, and our lovely, who I will keep a surprise, casters, will obviously go through that with you as well. But I think a solid performance from the predictions overall, and I'm surprised that it went as close, and I'm happy that it did.
Yeah, same. I did enjoy the series a lot, regardless of how it would have ended up. I'm just glad that Vukashu, kind of found his form towards the end. But yeah, all things considered, lovely series. Hopefully both teams make it to the playoffs. But yeah, speaking of making it to the playoffs, this is the updated standings. We have FPX sitting pretty, 3-0 in their group. DRG not down, but not out just yet. And it's still crazy to me that Wolves is 0-3. I just... Hello?
Minus 43 in the win-loss as well, so it's not even like the biggest one. And then this is the games obviously we were chatting about tomorrow, so tune in for them. And who knows, depending on how all gamers may actually subplan Wolves, which I don't think anyone was expecting.
I think them beating Nova is not too far off. I mean, them beating Wolves was crazy enough.
Yeah,
I don't think this
true.
is as crazy, right? So, I would be surprised if all gamers actually, pull off something really interesting.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, you will have to wait until tomorrow, and you will have to tune in, but we will leave you with that. We do appreciate you all, of course, so much for popping by. Anything that kind of interacts, even just your comments and everything, it means the world to us, and everything, of course, all of your engagement does help us get noticed things and build us up to the unofficial, official, whatever title Coldan's going to give us for next week as well, or for any following weeks. But it does get us, obviously does support us and gives everyone here, that put so much effort in, a bit of love. So, and in fact, you can actually see them down there. So if you want to join them, just hit the buttons and such, follow along. And ladies and gentlemen, until tomorrow, where there will be 2 fresh faces and a lot more fresh matches going, we will be back then. Until then, have a lovely rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.